Short Street gets into two. Oh, and a fight there between Josh Nichols and Dylan Platt. Oh, and they've all fallen behind. Collision there. Short Street makes contact there. Oh, I'm not too sure who's really. He's already gone out. Ryan Doran as well. Oh my goodness me, it's all happening at the back there. And we've got Ross Milburn has retired from the session. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to F1 Tonight UK. And joining me in the commentary box, as always, this evening is Guido Buddha Erschen. Good evening, Guido.
Good evening, Eddie.
Well, here we are. This is season 2, round 10. And we are here at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix. Full grid, 20 drivers. So started a little bit early so we don't miss too much of the action. But let's have a look at the championship standings as they are. Dylan Platt leads the way on 159 championship points. Second is up one, Phil Harris. Last week's P3 down to P3 is Sean Street on 100 points. Those are our top three. In P4, Lee Pratt remains where he was. 5, Josh Nichols. He stays where he was for Williams. 6 is Chris Knight, up 1 from 7. Down 1 from 6 is Ryan Lear to 7 for Haas. 8 is Thomas Cook, up 1 from 9. Jake Sorrell, down 1 from 8 for Racing Point. But the surprise, P10, is Callum White for Red Bull, up 5 places from last week. And he'd gone up, I think it was about another 3 or 4 from the previous week, if I recollect, Guido. P11, Adrian Rich, and he's down 1. Ross Milburn, down 1. Tony Foster, down 1. Jack Wilson, down 1. And these are all the repercussions, effectively, of Callum White moving up from P15. Then Jamie Good, he's down 1. Matt Goodyear remains in 16. Cameron Widdowson is 17. 18 is Richard Williams, the new driver, but there is going to be Ryan Doran in 19, but a new rookie driver for this evening, Zach Dejean for Mercedes. He's taking Dejean. I think Dejean sounds much better. I don't know. He'll correct me, I'm sure, if I'm wrong. But he replaces Carl Jackson in the Mercedes. Guido, I mean, obviously, great movement there from Callum White, and we were almost willing that, I think, last week when we were in Austria, because he's such a competent driver, hasn't really shown it. Here we are now, round 10, almost halfway through this season 2, and he's really moving up now, isn't he?
He is moving up, and rightfully so. He should move up because he's a great driver, and he has to be the number 2 in Red Bull to get the points. Trust me, he will. He will move up.
Yeah. No, I do agree with you on that. But looking so tight in that midfield, Guido, from 10 right up to, well, I'd say P4, but let's say P5. I mean, 54 points, 47, 46, 44, 41, 41. I mean, really, really tight there, isn't it?
Yeah, so as we said last week, that's where the fight's going to be. Having said that, the new guy is coming up from the bottom, and you'll never know what will happen in there. So it could be some interesting things happening in the bottom of the list.
Yeah, I agree. But look at those top 3 there. I mean, Phil Harris, Sean Street, really battling out at the moment on a weekly basis.
Yeah,
Dylan Platt building a bit more of a convincing lead there now, isn't he?
Yeah, it's pretty dominant. To be fair, it's something different.
But we've still got 12 races to go, 13 including this one. Sorry, 12 races including this one. So anything can happen, can't it?
Yeah, but I'll take it just from P2 to P4. That's the interesting thing. And I have to say, the number 1 position looks pretty tight at the moment.
Yeah, that's very true. Let's have a look at how that is now reflected in the Constructors' Championship. Leading the way, Red Bull on 225 championship points. Second place, Ferrari on 171. Third, McLaren, 124, so those remain constant. Bit of a swap here for fourth and fifth. Alfa Romeo move up one to fourth with 91. Down one move Williams with 74. Then we have Racing Point in sixth with 66. 7 up one is Haas with 55. Down one is Renault with 54 into 8. 9 is Toro Rosso, and bring up the rear at the moment is Mercedes on 22 points. Again, obviously, we can see very much a reflection there, but it's still, Red Bull pulling away a bit, but very tight between Ferrari and McLaren, and then that midfield's still tight. I mean, right between Renault and certainly Williams, maybe even Alfa Romeo, I'd say, when it comes to constructors championship.
Yeah, well, your number twos come into play here because you need your number twos to score points as well, and sometimes it just doesn't happen. You get damage, or you lose it, or you get it in the top or in the bottom half of the list, not scoring points. But that's what you need to climb up this second driver to score points with the number one, and well, let's see what happens then.
Yeah, indeed. And let's now have a look at the actual track itself, the iconic Silverstone track that has progressed throughout the years and grown. Originally an airfield, as many racing tracks are. 18 corners. Here in the Northamptonshire. Circuit length 3.66 miles. Total race length is 100.26 miles, and we're looking at 52 laps. Sectors. First sector takes from the start finish round Abbey, then the left-hander of Farm down into the hard right of Village, hard left then of the Loop, and also Aintree as well. Really tricky first sector, that, isn't it, Guido? Very high speed start with a very low speed ends, and then a high speed finish, or rather low speed middle and high speed finish.
You're going up the ladder with your gears, and it's a real tricky track to say the least. And exactly as you say, those combinations of corners, Village, Loop, and Entree, it's awesome. Yeah,
it is. Then obviously you start into the sector 2, down that Wellington straight into the left-hander of Brooklands, and you've got that hard sort of loop of Luffield turn 7 on the right, and then you've got to watch your exit onto that as you come round Woodcott onto the International Straight, as it is known. That's the original start-finish straight that you come to between 8 and 9. You've got that hard right, high-speed hard right at turn 9. Then you come down into that Maggots-Beckett sector, that left, right, and then round the 13 of Beckett's, and then that final left-hander of Chapel. Again, quite. It's almost like the flip side of sector 1 in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's one of the most exciting parts of the track, starting from Copse all the way to Chapel. Yeah, it's one of those pieces of track that it gets you to accumulate a lot of penalty points if you're not careful. Yeah. But you need a lot of speed out of Copse and cut the apex in the right way. Otherwise, you will lose half a second in there. That's a possibility. Yeah, and then you get the combination of Maggots and Beckett's. Well, that speaks for itself, I think. It's great fun. If any of you guys have the game, or if you've got any driving sim games that have got the Silverstone track, the GP track, do give it a go, because it's a great track. Really is a great track. Then into the third and final sector, down that Hangar Straight, where you're reaching the highest speeds effectively before you get to turn 15 Stowe. That's sort of that's on the crest of a hill. You drop down out of Stowe, down towards Vale, 16, 17, and then round the final corner of Club, turn 18, back onto the start finish straight. Got to watch yourself very much around those final 3 turns, getting it right, getting your angle right and your power right as you're laying down the power, especially as you come out of Club. Again, I mean, that's the high speed sector effectively, isn't it, really, sector 3? Yeah, the 16 and 17, those corners, they were really if you put the power down too early, you will really lose the car, and you really lose time in that last piece of that sector. Yeah, it's a really delicate piece of track. If I say it correctly that way. Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. I understand what you're saying with regards to that, Guido. 2 DRS points.
The first DRS detection point is as you're coming into turn 3 Village. That activates on the exit of turn 5 Aintree down that Wellington Straight towards Brooklands turn 6. The second one is then as you're coming into that Maggot sector between turns 10 and 11. That activates on the exit of turn 14 Chapel down the Hangar Straight. And unsurprisingly, the speed trap is at the end of that Hangar Straight. So 2 DRS is quite important. The one that really is the full advantage, though, is that Hangar Straight one, isn't it? Between Chapel and Stowe, turns 14 and 15.
Yeah.
That's the one that really happens. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to actually switch to a quick... well, not a quick, a hot lap. It is a quick. It's a hot lap from Sean Street. Sean Street being with McLaren, who are the team for the team focus here at Britain Silverstone, British GP Silverstone. So let's switch over now and have a look at that. And Guido, if you could talk us through as he comes round club now, that'd be great. So
second Woods.
Coming into turn 1, round turn 2, now down into Village. Watch it as you come round the loop, turn 4. You've got to be hitting that apex close as you can. Watch the exit go to the right hand side in preparation for coming around turn 5 Aintree. Down that Wellington Straight now. You've got the DRS active. You're looking for your braking points. You're approaching this turn left 6 of Brooklands. Right in tight there. Now watch as you go, reverse camber round Luffield. Watch the gearing, going a little bit wide there, coming out round Woodcorp now onto that international pit straight. Getting ready to come round that high speed turn of Cops, turn 9. Nicely executed there, straighten up in preparation for the entry into turn 10, the Maggot sector. Into 11, dropping down the gears, 12. 13 into turn 14 Chapel, DRS activated onto that Hangar Straight. Approaching Stone now, you're on the crest of the hill, you're going to be dropping down right. Brake, hit the apex on the right hand side there. Watch as you're coming out, don't go too wide round the left. Down now towards turn 16, 17, the little twin chicane there. Get ready, line yourself up for that last turn of 18 into club, onto the start-finish straight and across the line. A 1:21.7 there, so not a bad time at all there for him, was it? So that's looking good at this moment in time.
Oh.
Guido.
I was muted, sorry. I was talking away, but, you know.
Well, that probably explains why I couldn't hear you. But there you go. Okay, so that's that one done now. And Guido, if you can just run through the runners and riders for us, please.
Yes, for Ferrari, we have Lee Pratt and Phil Harris. For Racing Point, it's Ross Milburn, Jake Sorrell. For Red Bull, it's Dylan Platt, our current leader, and Callum White. Cameron Widdowson, Josh Diggles for Williams. McLaren is Sean Street and Tony Foster. Alfa Romeo's Thomas Cook and Chris Knight. For Haas, it's Ryan Lee and Ryan Doran. We have the rookie driver Zach Dejean. If we say it wrong, we will hear it. For Mercedes and Matt Goodyear. And for Toro Rosso, it's Jamie Good. And still a rookie driver, it's Richard Williams. Renault has Jack Wilson and Adrian Rich. Now, we have 2 backstart penalties. Well, it is one eventually. It's Jack Wilson for ignoring blue flags and unsafe return on track. And Jacques Dejean is going to start in the back as well. As we have for F1 Tonight rules, a new driver will start his first quali from the back.
And we are now on board with the guys. Actually, Sean Street just coming into the pits there. And Guido, we saw a lovely dry run there from Sean Street. Not looking so dry for this Q1 session, is it?
I'm seeing all grayed out cars, so I have a feeling that something is really slippery on this in this track. It looks really wet, but the track's going to be dry in the racing.
Yeah. I think you're right there. I think it is going to be dry in the race. We are on board at this moment in time with Ryan Leah.
see Adrian Rich already retired at Goodyear. And I saw, while you were talking about the hot lap in the background, I saw Adrian Rich colliding with a wall.
Now, Ryan Lear so far, the man that set the fastest lap, 1:42.0. He's just set another fastest lap, 1:41.850. So he's clearly enjoying these wet conditions. He's on the intermediate tyres. Actually, let's have a quick check on the tyre situation. Yeah, he's on the intermediates, few on the wets. But he seems to be getting on pretty okay with those intermediates this moment in time. Thomas Cook, currently second. He's on the intermediates. He just was on wets, so he's only just switched to those. 1:44.0. Ross Milburn, he's on the wets, 1:44.3. Phil Harris for Ferrari, 1:44.6. Josh Diggles, 1:45.8 for Rocket Williams. And Jamie Good done a 1:45.8. Ryan Durham, 1:46.5. Tony Foster, 1:47.1. Sean Street, 1:54. And if you compare that, obviously, to what he did on that fast, that's 30 seconds difference there. Lee Pratt, 2 minutes 6, 2 minutes 7 from Cameron Widdowson. Obviously, they're not too happy about that. Dylan Platt on his outlap now. Jake Sorrell looks like he's on a fast lap. Yes, he is. So Dylan just moving across into, as they were coming into that turn 15 of Stowe there. Adrian Richards quit out. Richard Williams is in the pits. And Callum White is out on track. He's on intermediates. Let's see how he's doing.
So what do you think? Because it looks to me like it's full wet weather. But I have to say, I'm not really a wet driver, so...
it's a racing line there. There is a racing line there. I've got to say, but let's go. Well, Callum White just set the second fastest time, 1:41.899. So great run from him. Let's have a look at his teammate. He's coming around into exit of sector 1, starting sector 2. Not particularly fast, I think. I don't know though, 30. I don't know actually. Let's have a quick look at this. Not a purple certainly, but don't know how that compares to the other guys. This moment in time, just coming down the international straight round Copse. Very, very tight on the round Copse there, down into Maggots now. Into Beckett's.
Oh, play with your throttle.
yeah, you've got to feather the throttle, as they say, out of Chapel, down the hanger straight now. Approaching that Stowe turn.
A little bit of a lock up.
That's one of the McLarens going right off the track there, giving him plenty of space. This is looking not too bad at all, actually. I've got to say, I think we could see a 140. Jake Soul just did a 141.5, 140.0, yeah. A 140.0 from Dylan Platt. And Jake Soul just sneaked in there with a 141.5 as well. So, yeah, and those are on the intermediate. So clearly intermediate is the tyre to go with. Phil Harris is currently in the pits, as is Josh Diggles, Tony Foster, Cameron Widdowson. Those are all wet runners. Cameron Widdowson is actually out on track at this moment in time. Just coming around turn 9 of Copse there. Let's have a look how his times look. He's on the full wets. It's not looking too bad. $1:24.6 out of sector 2. Don't know. I don't know if that's going to do it. I don't think that's going to cut it. No, that definitely isn't going to cut it. In fact, he's probably going to be hitting around about a 150 mark, I think.
It's going in.
Yeah, he's into the pits. He's into the pits there. Ryan Doran is out on track at this moment in time. He's on the intermediates. This is his out lap, so he's just about to start a hot lap. So starting his hot lap now. Let's go on board with him. So into turn 1, Abbey, into 2, round 2, coming down towards 3, Village now. Ooh.
Ooh.
Going very, very deep there. He's got the left-hander now of the loop. Got to be really tight in there. Get on that right-hand side in readiness for that left-hander of Aintree. You can really lay down the power in dry conditions, but obviously no DRS, even though he's just crossed the DRS line. Down the Wellington straight now. Approaching turn 6, Brooklands. And there is definitely a dry line there. Round 7, Luffield now. Into that final turn 8 of Woodcott onto the international straight now. Going down towards Copse. Is going to be brave. Drops it a couple of gears, but yeah, that was a good entry and exit there. Now into Maggots. Into Beckett's. Get ready for that left-hander at Chapel. Use the full width of the track down the hangar straight now towards Stowe. Good entry exit there. Gotta say, Ryan Duran not looking too shabby at this moment in time, or a little bit deep. Into the final 18, the club. Oh, he lost time there, didn't he? And that was that final sort of 16, 17, those sort of veil turns there. He lost a lot of time there, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He lost a good second or so, because I reckon he would have been down in the 141s, low 141s. So that's Ryan Duran there. Now remember, in this Q1 session, we are dropping from 19 drivers to 15. So the 4 slowest drivers will be dropped at this moment in time. Matt Goodyear is one of those. He seems to have retired out of the session. Richard Williams is the only one that's fighting out at this moment in time. Jack Wilson is out. Zach Dejean, obviously. Zach Dejean starting as a back start as the rookie driver, first race. Jack Wilson suffering a penalty for unsafe entry and ignoring blue flag from last week in Austria. So Richard Williams, I think Matt Goodyear, Adrian Rich and Jamie Good all came to calamity on the track, I would suspect, Guido.
Oh. Sorry, my computer just totally crashed.
Well, no worries, we'll continue on anyway. Richard Williams into Chapel now. Onto the hangar straight. Let's see what Ricky boy can do for us this evening. Come on, Ricky. Ricky! Let's go for it. Coming down Vale now into the final chicane. 16, round 17. Get ready, line up into 18 club. A 142.0. So that gets him comfortably into that Q2. And that's ultimately what he's looking to achieve. So we've got a bit of a mix here. I'm not too sure. I suspect that we're probably going to have 14 drivers in the Q2 session. And that being the case, it does look that Jamie Good will be starting in 15. So that's row 7. Row 8 will be Adrian Rich in the Renault MP16. Alongside him will be Matt Goodyear in the Mercedes. And in row... No, sorry, what am I saying there? It'll be Jamie Good and Adrian Rich alongside each other, sorry, in row 8. In row 9 will be Matt Goodyear in the Mercedes alongside Jack Wilson in the Renault. And in row 10 will be Zach Dejean in P19, so he'll be all alone in row 10. But those look to me like those are the guys that are going to be dropped, and that means we will go through, by the looks of it, with 14 drivers into the Q2 session. But yeah, interesting. I'm getting reports here, Guido, that although we've got a wet quali, it does look like we're going to have a dry race.
Oh, lovely.
Now, how does that affect the guys, Guido? Because obviously their setups, they don't want to do a dry race with wet setups. Equally, they don't want to necessarily muck up their quali for race position. I mean, what do you do in that situation?
The only thing you can adjust is the front wing. Basically, if you run a dry setup, you can adjust your front wing to a higher setup.
But what would you do if you know you've got a wet quali and you're going to have a dry race? How do you do that? I mean, what do you do? What do you do? Do you go with your dry setup and hope for the best?
No, I go for my dry setup and I push up my front wing and then see what will happen. And as soon as the race starts, you put on your wing down or pull it down, so you're at your normal racing capability, at least the thing you've trained with, and so you get it back. That's what I would do.
Okay. So basically, you run with your setup and that's it. That's what you hope. You hope everything sort of
because if you go
stays that way
with an all wet setup. And just as somebody's luck always will be, you get into a dry race, you will definitely not be competitive.
Yeah, that's very true. And
it's just a bit of a gamble, and that's one of those things that we obviously try to mimic a bit. The unpredictability about the settings of the weather.
Yeah, that's what it has a major impact. I mean, you can see there.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Even the fastest lap was, basically 20 seconds off that hot lap that Sean Street supplied for us for the profile on McLaren. So, I mean, that illustrates obviously, what a difference wet conditions can make. And, if you've got your car set up for the wet, that's great. But it's not going to help you in the race. But equally, you need to qualify. So it's a hard, it's a hard one to measure, really, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's just part of the charm, and I have to say this is really, what I think is really British weather. Could go either way, and it looks like it's really.
I believe it gets a little bit damp in Holland from time to time.
It does, but when I speak to you on the phone during the week, it's always shitty weather. You say so. Leave that.
Oh, I see. Like that is it. Okay. Don't believe him, UK.
No.
Don't believe him. It's not true. I am never. Well, I may sort of say it's cold, but I'm never whinging. I'm not a true Brit in the sense that I really do complain about the weather all the time.
I'm not saying all the time, but
just about 60% of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the guys Q2 is underway, and as I thought, we got the 14 drivers through. Matt Goodyear will be starting in that P15 position. 14 drivers. That means we will be losing 4 drivers at the end of this Q2 session. And if you're in doubt, this is F1 Tonight UK. And we are here for Season 2, Round 10. The British Grand Prix here at Silverstone. Let's join these front runners. I think it's actually Richard Williams who's leading the pack.
Toro Rosso, yeah, it is.
So Richard Williams, not so much a rookie now. Third, I think this is his third or fourth race, if I remember correctly. So now a little bit more of a fixture. Obviously finding his feet at the moment, Richard Williams, isn't he? I think in the league. He's obviously a competent driver, but he's just trying to get it all together, really, I think. This season may not be the one where he shines, but I think he has the ability to shine.
Oh, definitely. I totally agree on that one, because it's just a bit of an adjustment, getting a full quali in and then a whole nights of racing, 100% with every damage off. It's just a little bit of, as I say, a little bit of adjusting to 50% racing and some of the leagues do 25% racing. He's finding out now what it does to you at the end of the evening. You still have 17 laps to go where your concentration goes.
Yeah, no, that's very true. And anything can happen, and it normally does. That's for sure. So let's have a look here. He comes round now, and there's only two drivers on the wets actually, Tony Foster and Callum White. So that's interesting. I won't dwell too much on that. We'll have a look at that in a second. So Richard Williams round Luffield now. Woodcock down that international straight, heading towards Copse. I've got to say, pretty tidy so far. Nice entry into Maggots there. On board him now as he comes round Beckett's. Ooh, a little bit wide out Beckett's into Chapel. Down the hanger straight now. Approaching Stowe. Coming into Stowe now. Hit that. Want to ride that rumble strip. Again, a little bit wide there.
I think it's still good.
It's looking good, yeah, don't get me wrong, he is looking good.
Ooh, having said that.
Deep there, how to 16, 16, 17, well, you know, I think it's just more the drivers, to be honest. He sets a 140.8 though, great run there from him, got to say, 140.8.
No, that's Thomas Cook.
Oh, was that Thomas Cook? Oh, sorry. Sorry, I had the thing off there, yeah. So, yeah, Thomas Cook sets a 140.8. Great run, definitely, from Thomas Cook. Richard Williams. No, Thomas Cook, I think, was actually on the wets. I changed that. No, he's on the intermediates. That's okay. There's still Dylan Platt and Cat. So it's only the Red Bull guys that have got wets fitted at this moment in time. So Richard Williams sits in third, 143.0. Respectable time there. Josh Diggles for Williams, 142.3. Jake Sorrell for Racing Point, 145.3. Lee Pratt for Mercedes. Oh dear, not what he was looking at, 150.7. Let's have a look here. I think, actually, let's go with... is that Phil? Where's Phil Harris? He's in the pits still. That's Callum White. That's Lee Pratt. That's Thomas Cook coming in after setting that fast lap. Richard Williams just behind him. Then we've got Jake Sorrell. That's Josh Diggles, yeah. Look here. Yeah, Josh Diggles coming round now. He's looking good at this moment in time. 7/10 up on his previous. Coming around Beckett's into Chapel now. Onto that hanger straight. Is he going to better his time? I think he is, you know, Guido. Looks like he's doing a faster time here. Guido, have you muted your mic again? No, he's into the pits.
No. No, sorry, I was concentrating on Jake Sorrell. He's got 141.5. Slipping and sliding.
Ryan Doran actually out on track now. Let's have a look how the Haas driver's doing. Not what he was looking for, but he's going to go for another run. 146 is what he set. Wasn't recorded as obviously he exceeded the track limits. Now, Guido, I mean, obviously incidents that happen here, well, I'm sure we will see incidents. Where do you think is the corner or the sector that you're more likely to see incidents, not including obviously, you know, the start of the race where everyone's bunched up, but, you know, where do you think you can see drivers potentially lose it, you know, change of camber, or they lay down too much power?
I think it's the last combination of corners. I think that will be a fairly difficult. It's very easy to lay down the power a little bit early there.
Yeah.
As you start to drive in there for the left-hander on the corner 18, what's it, 16?
Yeah,
actually goes back a little bit into 17, and you have the urge to lay down the power fairly quickly, But as you can see, the bend is, as it's shown on the map, and the bend is a little bit, it's not just going right, but it's also slowly, it's banking a bit. It's just, it's not a great corner.
That final turn 18, it looks easy.
It looks easy.
But it's actually not.
No.
It's actually quite a technical corner there.
It's very dangerous if you hit the curb also on the inside of the right. Then it's really a bump.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. The one for me, I've got to say, that shines out mostly, and certainly from my point of view, and I've done it numerous times, not necessarily in the F1 cars, but I find in the GTs when I'm on PC too, is actually maggots. So when you're coming out of Luffield, trying to get onto the international straight, and you've got that, as you lay down the power, you lay down too much, you can suddenly find yourself in the barrier into what was the old pit entrance, basically.
I think that in that combination, maggots, Beckett's, and Chap, I think it's turn 12, because maggots you can cut. No, not really cut the corner, but you can take your car in the middle of the curbs, and you can drive over that. So you basically got the car a little bit straight, and you have to brake a little bit harder for the 12.
Yeah, Ryan Doran is coming in now. I've got to say, I tend to use the gears a lot through maggots and Beckett's, and sort of decelerate. Use the engine to decelerate rather than braking, especially in wet conditions. But cleanly through there for Ryan Doran in the Haas. Down that hangar straight now. I mean, so 3 potential areas there where we could see drivers coming amiss of their own accord, and it is always, in those ones where you got to watch how you lay down the power and your exit, and those tend to be the ones where you see the drivers, spin out, or if they're unlucky against the barrier, if the barrier is close enough. So let's have a look here as Ryan Doran comes round club. So it's a 1:43.0, so he's looking safe at this moment in time. Drop zone, I think, is probably going to be, well, I mean, we've got 4 minutes remaining, Guido. 1:43.0.
Ross Milburn already invalidated.
Yeah.
Dylan Platt said the second sector was the purple one. Oh, now has lost it.
Yeah, and they're out on the intermediates. They're on the intermediates. They are on the intermediates. Yeah. They did have the wets on, but they actually decided to go on to the intermediates. Let's have a look now. Dylan coming to the end. Round 18. This is looking good time here. It's a 1:40.2. Callum White now coming down the hangar straight. So 1:40.2 from Dylan Platt. Callum White coming down the hangar straight now, approaching
bumps up to 7.
15 Stowe. Taking it rather delicately round there. I don't know. I can't quite figure it. It's looking good time though, but
it's invalidated.
Ah, right. I couldn't figure out what was that. Right. Okay.
So
it's not showing as invalidated on mine. It's not showing as invalidated on mine.
Yeah, it's still showing me. It was showing me that Dylan Platt had wets on, as does
Callum White.
It's Callum White. Yeah, and if you see the car, it's intermediates, obviously.
Yeah. So
there's definitely a little bit of an issue.
Yeah,
again
I'm actually looking at it on the player info, so that's how I had that called. I didn't actually go onto the tyre selection. So Callum White still to set a lap. Ross Milburn as well still to set a lap. Let's have a look. What's the difference? So Callum White is actually just ahead of him on track. Drop zone at the moment is 1:42.8. So I was going to say before we started on that, I suspected it was going to be round about the low 1:43s, but we've gone to Tony Foster 1:42.8. It's probably going to be, I don't know if Tony's going to keep that. I think it's probably going to go down to like 1:42.5 or something like that for the drop. What we're referring to is the time set by 10th place. So that's effectively everyone slower than that will be dropped, and then everyone faster will be retained. We are going to be dropping P11, 12, 13 and 14 in this Q2 session. At the moment, that is Ryan Doran in the Haas, Cameron Widdowson in the Rocket Williams, and Ross Milburn and Callum White, who haven't yet set times.
Sorry, Ross Milburn lost it on his probably final outlap.
Callum White getting a lovely tow there off Dylan Platt down the hangar straight. Let's see how much that has helped him, because that was massive. Nearly loses it. Nearly loses it on the exit of Stowe. Regains his composure though, nicely into turn 16 and 17. Approaching club now.
Oh, sliding. Yeah, that's the bump we were talking about.
Yeah. Comes across the line, 140.1.
140.1.
140.1 from Callum White, and I've got to say, I think that toe from Dylan Platt down the hanger straight, beautifully timed. I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but that really helped us. So it's a 1-2 in this Q2 session for Red Bull, Callum White and Dylan Platt. Now, that means that the drop zone is a 142.0. Right, so 142.0. Sean Street, he's currently on a lap at this moment in time, trying to get a bit of heat into his intermediate tyres. That's a bit bizarre, but anyway, coming round into Luffields now. So Richard Williams, he needs just behind Sean Street. He needs to better his time, as does Ryan Doran, and certainly Cameron Widdowson in the Rocket Williams, and Ross Milburn still to set a time.
He's going for it.
Well, this is the line of them at the moment. So Ross Milburn getting past Sean Street there. Well, he's on a fast lap. I think Sean's just he's on an out lap, legging past there. So Richard Williams comes round. A 142.3, still in that drop zone. Ryan Doran is in the pits. Cameron Widdowson is coming round. Ross Milburn, he's coming round, just trying to see who's the closest. It'll be Ross Milburn, I think. So Ross Milburn down the hanger straight now.
Ooh, that's going to be tricky.
No, does okay. Round Stowe.
Yeah, nice. Oh, there's one in front of him. Hope he sees him.
Dylan just set a 139.5. My goodness me, 139.5 from Dylan Platt.
He's just making sure.
141.2 from Ross Milburn. That puts him in P7,
nice.
So he's safe. That's now put Sean Street in the drop zone with a 142.0. Oh, I thought he was going to lose it round there. He's just coming round Aintree now onto the Wellington Straight. Let's see what he can do. Needs to improve his time by, well, at least 4/10 if he can. Richard Williams is a little bit further behind him. Richard Williams is actually coming round to finish his lap. Let's have a quick look here. Just coming round Stowe now, so keep an eye on that. Sean Street round Cops.
Oh, slides, loses it, and it's gone.
It's
Sean
gone.
Street is gone.
Lost his front wing. He hasn't lost his tyres, wheels though.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, no, he hasn't lost his wheels. His wheels are still... Oh, no, he has lost the front right. Yeah, he has lost the front right. So that's him out of the picture. Richard Williams guts across the line, but he sets a 142.3. Ryan Doran in the pit, so that's it. So Sean Street will be starting P11 for McLaren. That's row 6. Alongside him will be Richard Williams in the Toro Rosso. And in row 7 will be Ryan Doran for Haas and Cameron Widdowson for Rocket Williams. Although saying that, I think Williams actually still on I think he's still on a lap, isn't he? Actually, Cameron Widdowson. He is. So this could potentially, if he does a faster lap than 141.7, we could see Tony Foster and Sean Street in that row 6.
That he's already has a checkered flag.
Oh, he has?
So it's probably the AI is driving now.
Oh, right. Okay, so that's fine. No, that's fine then. So Tony Foster will be in that P10 position. His teammate will be in P11, row 6. That's Sean Street. Not ideal for what the guys were looking for, but, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. So there we have Sean Street, row 6 for McLaren. Alongside him, Richard Williams and Toro Rosso. Row 7 will be the Haas of Ryan Doran. Alongside him will be the Williams. Through to Q3 is Tony Foster for McLaren, Lee Pratt for Ferrari, Ross Milburn for Racing Point, Ryan Lear for Haas, Josh Diggles for Williams, Tony Cook for Alfa Romeo, Phil Harris for Ferrari, Jake Soule for Racing Point, Callum White for Red Bull, and Dylan Platt for Red Bull. And what a time, a 139.5. He's more or less equaling actually his time that he set in Q1. So clearly, good pace there. Yeah. So into this final Q3 session, who are you going to call for pole, Guido?
Callum.
Okay, Okay. I will go. You know, I'm not gonna mess things up. I'm gonna go with Dylan then. So I'm going to go with Dylan for pole. You're going to go with Callum. And who are you going to go with for the race win?
Dylan.
Okay, I am.
Bear in mind, it's going to be a dry race. Then again.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually going to go with Thomas Cook.
Good.
We're going with Dylan. Okay, that's all written down and noted.
Well, we got about 26 people watching now already. So good evening, everybody. Welcome.
Yeah, good evening all. Hope you're enjoying the Q session. Racing will be underway probably in about 20 minutes, I would say, roughly speaking. First drivers now coming out on the track for this Q3 session. So let's have a look who we've got, what they're doing. Everybody's on the intermediates. And Thomas Cook leads the way on this outlap for Alfa Romeo. And I've got to say, a combination of Thomas Cook and Chris Knight been doing pretty well so far. I mean, they're battling it out, certainly in the Drivers' Championship, but also in the Constructors, aren't they, Guido?
Yeah, only thing tonight is that Chris Knight's not going to be there due to technical difficulties.
He's got, unfortunately, Chris Knight not able to make it this evening. We've got, I think it's the only driver that can't make it because he's had internet issues, so connection issues, so wasn't able to race. It's a bit unfortunate, but
it is.
You know, they're a good pairing. They've been doing pretty well through the season, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely. It's you know, I think all these lineups are pretty good. They complement each other. When one goes wrong, the other picks it up, and but yeah, strong team.
Well, let's see what the solo Sauber. Alfa Romeo, rather, driver of Thomas Cook can do. So used to saying Sauber.
Sauber, yeah.
So he's coming around, be the first man to set the fast lap. Just under 10 minutes of this Q session remaining. Remember, we are looking at obviously wet Qs. They have been throughout, but we are looking at a dry race. So we were discussing earlier setup issues or setup, you know, what choice do you make? Because you can only adjust your front wing and your brake bias. And Guido's saying, well, you know, in that option, I would go for my dry setup and just adjust my front wing accordingly in the wet conditions. You know, certainly what would make sense because you're not allowed to change anything else on the setup between Q and the actual race itself. And some nice angle shots there.
And it's also the track a bit. You know, it's a fairly long track, so that's if you got a short track and you got higher downforce, it could well help you in the dry as well. But if you're gonna lose a lot on the straights.
Yeah, that's true.
Ooh. Slippy slidey. Here we go.
Let's see. Down the international straight. Into Cops now.
Oh, wide.
Oh, yes. Definitely too deep. That's going to be invalidated there.
Well, it doesn't look it.
Really?
Could
Surprised.
Could be that it took off the throttle. And, that's... and then it takes too much time. It'd probably be...
Well, purple in the middle sector, but then again, can't be surprised.
He's blazing.
He's blazing, definitely. Round Stowe down Vale now into final chicane, 16-17.
Will he get it? Will he
Nicely
get the fastest lap?
I think he'll get the fastest lap, definitely.
Yes!
So 141.2.
Oh no.
So let's have a look who's behind.
Oh,
Well, that's invalidated by Ross Milburn.
Ah, he lost it, Phil.
Tony Foster, 142.3. Josh Diggle's 141.5. Thomas Cook, as we know, 141.2. Phil Harris, 140.0. Callum White, 139.7. Dylan Platt, 139.6. These guys seem to be in a different zone at the moment in Team Red Bull, don't they, Guido?
Yeah. Look at that. If they stay this, they will launch themselves off the scoreboard.
Into the pits. Ryan Lear coming round now. Past and 141.4 from Ryan Lear. So that's the first round. Should see the guys probably come into the pits after this. Depends what the guys are feeling, really. I mean, obviously, wet conditions, there's not an awful lot more you can do other than put a fresh set of intermediates on. They are looking at a dry race, so I guess they can put as many of those on, as many as they've got, really.
Yeah, you'll get fresh tyres in the race.
Now, this is the other thing, Guido. Normally, under qualifying session, obviously the Q2 session will be critical because that would be for these top 10. What the tyre choice they're starting on. In this instance, obviously, wet qualifying, dry race, they'll have a free choice of tyre. I mean, have you had a look at the setups and what you think is going to work, or what do you think on this? I mean, 52 laps. It's a challenging track. It's not too bad on the tyre. It's more.
Well, it's totally as you say. It's now different because you don't have that where you have from the quali.
Yeah.
So, but my guess would be probably now start on the yellow tyre, make a long stint.
Yeah.
And maybe push it. I don't know. Yeah, maybe push it for a one stop and then red tyre in the end. Well, that's going to be a long push, I have to say.
I mean, a one stop is possible, certainly if you use the
possible,
hard compound tyre. I mean, two stop is certainly by far the most preferred. I think that's what most people will be going for. Dry race, I reckon that we're probably going to be more likely to see people going, soft, medium, soft, or soft, soft, medium, or a combination thereof. But that said, I mean, we've seen Dylan be very much, the hard tyre man. Callum White, I think it worked for him as well, certainly. I'm wondering if they're not going to start maybe on the hard compound tyre, as they're leading the pack. They can control. I mean, they're 1-2. If they defend their line, they can control it pretty well, and they could hold the rest of the pack back, and while they get the heat into those tyres, and they'd be able to go a lot deeper as well, wouldn't they? Obviously on the hard compound tyre.
But then you have the first two cars. But if you get behind that, you want to have to have a little pace, trying to overtake them. So you're going to be on the faster tyre.
But the thing is, nobody knows what everyone's going to choose, do they? That's what I'm saying.
No.
So you've got to make that choice independently, not necessarily knowing what the other guy's head, because you haven't got that Q2 session to say, okay, he's starting on, the yellows, he's starting on the whites, he's starting on the reds, whatever it may be. So, I mean, those
are the things I usually discuss with my teammate and say what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, and what's the idea behind the strategy. And obviously, when you start on fresh set of tires with nowhere of the cues whatsoever, you can take your medium tires a lot longer now, at least 3 laps. Because you don't have the out lap, don't have the fast lap, you don't have the in lap, you don't have the one you did wrong.
No, I mean that is the thing. It's going to be an interesting one, though. It's going to be an interesting one. I suspect we could see the Red Bull guys starting on the hard compound tyres, if not certainly the yellow compound, the medium compound tyre. But I suspect it could be on the hards. But we'll see. It's going to be an interesting one. I don't know what you can gain on the hards. Some tracks obviously you don't gain. I mean, Austria, you wouldn't gain zilch on a hard compound tyre. But here, I think you could. So we're on board.
But then again, it could be that you're on the yellow tyre and that you have literally no feeling of the car whatsoever, so you want to change it.
Yeah, true. We are on board at this moment with Ross Milburn, just coming through Maggots into Beckett's now. Yet to set a time. Not looking too bad at this moment in time, 1:13.
Ooh, purple sector.
Yeah, so that's not looking too shabby. I think we could see him, I reckon we could see him mixing it up with those Red Bulls. Oh, no, not quite. 141.3, but a great run there from Ross Milburn. Purple middle sector puts him in P6. So that's in the third row there. So looking strong. Lee Pratt's out on track, as is Ryan Lear at this moment in time. Ryan Lear leading the way at this moment. He's on an outlap. And so is Lee Pratt. But Lee Pratt will be finishing his outlap later. So let's stay with Ryan Lear. Just about to start a hot lap. And we've seen Ryan. I mean, Ryan, he's good. He knows this track. He's set a 140, 141, low for 141.
I expect everybody from the UK to know this track.
Well, yeah, that's true. Certainly comfortable in it. Let's put it like that. Yes. I think he's got the ability to drop it down a bit, but it's going to be a question of where he can gain that time. And I think that's sector 1, this first sector. If he can do a purple in this first sector, I think he stands a good chance of getting into that low 141s or high 140s.
Well, it's not as busy as it was obviously in Q2, so there's a little bit more water.
He is up 6 thousandths, not a huge amount, but he is up, so not purple, but certainly an improvement in that sector 1 for him. Down the international straight now towards Cops. Nicely done. Oh, I don't know if he's gonna. I don't know if that's gonna.
It still doesn't show as invalidated.
I don't think it's gonna. No, I don't think it will actually on that turn there. Into Maggots now. Coming around into Beckett's. Onto Chapel. Onto the straight. Yellow flag's being waved as somebody's moving the side for him there. That's the Richard Williams, I think that was. Oh no, it was the Red Bulls. Richard Williams not in, obviously. It's looking strong, I've got to say. This is looking good. If he can hold it around this final set of corners. Clean through the chicane there. This is going to be a really good time.
140.
Oh! 140 point. He did go. That was a great run though. 140.9. Yeah. So that was a great run there from Ryan Lear, I've got to say.
Good run.
That was a good run. Puts him in that third row alongside Jake Sorrell at this moment in time. And Lee Pratt was coming round. Let's see what Lee can do as he comes into club. A 140.8. So he just took that place from Ryan Lear. So he'll now be in P5. Ryan Lear will be alongside him. So a number of drivers out on track at this moment in time. Let's see if I can get some idea of where they are. It's Jake Sorrel there.
Well, we're talking so much about lockdown. Looks like it's going to be a lockout. A lockout.
Ross Milburn will be the first man across. I think he's followed by Phil Harris. Yep. And then that's Phil Harris coming around now.
No gas.
Oh, he's run out of gas. He's run out of gas. Would you believe it?
Too far.
It's like run out of gas. Tony Foster just coming round. He's into the pits. We've got Jake Sorrell coming round now. Down Vale into the final chicane. What can he do? Can he pull it out of the bag? It's looking a good time. It's looking a good time here. Oh, losing that final little sector there.
Oh, Dylan, he batters himself 139.4.
Thomas Cook coming across the line. No, not what he was looking for. Callum White across the line. 139.7. Oh, and that is it. Well, looks like we've got a lockout from Red Bull with Dylan Platt and Callum White in row 1 for the start of this race. Wow, this is really going to be something. So, confirmation, Dylan Platt and Callum White starting 1-2. Phil Harris for Ferrari, P3. Good run there from Phil, got to say. Not discounting him there, but actually, yeah, I won't change it now. Ross Milburn will be in P4, row 2. Great run from him in the Racing Point. Row 3, P5 will be Lee Pratt in the Ferrari. So both Ferraris in the top 5. Haas, Ryan Lear is in P6, row 3. P4, Row 4, P7, Jake Sorrell for Racing Point. Alongside him in P8 will be Thomas Cook in the Alfa Romeo. And in row 5, P9 will be Josh Diggles in the Williams. Alongside him will be Tony Foster in the McLaren. Well. Guido.
Well,
that has been something, hasn't it? Let's put it like that.
It's rain, and I have to say, I hate rain.
Yeah, it is not.
And to drive in, it's. I don't think it's fun at all. But these guys, they really, Red Bull luck out. It's wicked, absolutely wicked.
Yeah, I've got to say, I'm inclined to agree with you there. Guido, obviously, drivers having a little bit of a break now. So we're going to have a little chat and do a little bit of a team focus for Team McLaren, who this season, for Season 2, are Sean Street and Tony Foster. Let's start with Sean Street. So 25 Grand Prix, started on the front row of the grid twice in his career. Both times were in this Season 2. That's Australia and China. He's had 5 podiums altogether, 4 of which were this season. Suffered his worst result last week, which was 9th. Of all 19 races he's finished, he scores 40 points from his first 9 races last season. Now has 100 for the same. So, I mean, that is a major improvement from Season 1 to Season 2. I mean, we did say, Sean, he was looking good in Season 1. I'd put him in the same sort of boat that I'm putting Richard Williams in at this moment in time. A massive improvement from last season. Guido?
Yeah, I'll put my mic down and then I can talk to you. Well, I think what I was saying is that the McLaren team is a wicked team. I really think they're gonna. What was that? Two races ago when they were tied together, and I think Tony Foster lost it there in the end. Yeah. It was too bad, but these guys really, and Sean Street is a really good driver. And
third in the Drivers' Championship at this moment in time, so that that's clearly reflected. Battling it out with Phil Harris, so. A great season for him, and I think he's going to be very happy. I mean, he's very happy, I think, so far, certainly this season. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. Let's have a look at his teammate now. Let's have a look at Tony Foster. I've got to say, Tony, I've got to say this now. I just love his avatar. Does that avatar ring any bells to you, Guido?
Let me see.
Who does that look like? Come on. He's French. He's got a big nose.
Oh.
Piqué.
It is. Ooh, how did he do that?
I have no idea, but that really does look like Nelson Piquet, I've got to say. Tony Foster, if you look like that, mate, you got my honours, that's for sure. 27 Grand Prix, no podiums, finished 4th in Japan in Season 1. Normally very consistent from starting to dwindle. Has 32 points heading into Britain's last season. Now has 24. So Tony Foster, he had an amazing, I think, Season 1. He was always in the points. He wasn't right up there in the points, but he got points consistently every race. But this season, he seems to be a little bit off the mark, don't you think, Guido?
Maybe it's just a little bit of a rhythm you miss, and it could well start from here. If it's just a track you know really well, all could happen. But it's you got to get your mojo in it once in a while, and then it'll probably change. But he's one of those drivers that can take it, and then he could change.
Well, so. I think he's an excellent driver. Certainly very competent driver. I mean, and a consistent driver. It's just that consistency's been lacking this season. And, again, we don't know what situations are. They can change. You might not be getting enough practice. You might not feel comfortable, obviously, because not the same car. The teams have changed cars, and that can sometimes have an impact. But yeah, I'm definitely expecting great things from Tony, I think, as the season moves on. As I say, you know, it'd be good to see him up on the podium. Don't expect to see him on the podium, but I do expect to see him, you know, scoring those points. And that's where he's been lacking, because he was always in that, you know, top 10, always in that low sort of, you know, 8 to 10 mark, always scoring points, 3 points, 2 points, 1 point, and that's what accumulates. So the difference there at this moment in time, 8 points between this season and last season where we are now. Let's see if Tony can get it together for the second part of the season and close it down. I have confidence that he will, Guido, I've got to say.
Yeah, I think so too. As you said, that McLaren is a really strong team, and they will score points. Will keep scoring points.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll see where Tony goes.
Yeah, absolutely.
He'll get his mojo back.
I'm sure he will.
I see them ready him up.
The drivers are now starting to ready up, as we see. So we'll be getting underway with the processional lap. So let's get on board and let's just. So there we go. So Dylan Platt for Red Bull leads the way. In P2 is his teammate Callum White. Row 2, P3 is Phil Harris in the Ferrari. Alongside him will be Ross Milburn in the Racing Point. Then we have Lee Pratt for Ferrari. He's in P5. Ryan Lear for Haas is P6. Jake Sorrell for Racing Point is P7. P8 is Thomas Cook for Alfa Romeo. P9 is Josh Diggles for Williams. P10 is Tony Foster, so in that top 10. P11 is his teammate Sean Street, after, well, going out there, looking like he was going to really put a great time, but unfortunately went out. Richard Williams in the Toro Rosso is P12. P13 is Ryan Doran in the Haas. P14 is Cameron Winston in the Rocket Williams. P15 is Jamie Good in the Toro Rosso. P16 is Adrian Rich in the Renault. P17 is Matt Goodyear in the Mercedes. P18 is Jack Wilson in the Renault. And P19 is the new driver for Mercedes, Zach Dijon. And bring up the rear, rookie driver. So let's see how he gets on. So drivers now getting ready to come down towards them. Did I just see a few spots of rain there, Guido?
That's what I was going to say. Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Definitely saw a few spots of rain there, I've got to say.
I'm in the Ross Milburn's
and there's
car,
definitely a bit of rain there on the lens.
There is rain. There is rain. So the weatherman is fooled us again.
Well, it might not be enough to affect. It might not be enough to affect what the guys are doing. So Dylan Platt actually starting on the softs, Phil Harris on the mediums. Now this is going to be very interesting indeed. You come to see this now. Drivers lining up on the grid. The lights are coming on. This is F1 Tonight, Season 2, the British Grand Prix, and they are off, and a false start there, it looks like, from Ryan Lear. Moved forward, he will get penalty points. I think he's already got them, actually. So into turn 1, Callum White leads the way. Oh, look at that! Ross Milburn has gone off the track. Really, really badly there, out of 4. Callum White leads the way. Dylan Platt is in second. Phil Harris is third. Lee Pratt for Ferrari has now moved up into 4. Jake
Safety car. Safety car.
Look at this, yeah. A lot of contact there. I think that was the Williams of Josh Diggles. I'm not too sure if he's had contact there. Safety car is out. Let's have a quick look through here. Thomas Cook. Yeah, he's got damage. No, not Thomas Cook, sorry. That's actually Ryan Lear has got damage on his front wing there. Thomas Cook looking okay. Josh Diggles, no, looks okay. McLaren and Tony Foster. Richard Williams, he's got no damage. Sean Street, no damage.
Yeah, Ross has got damage.
Jack Wilson, I'm not too sure if he's got damage or not. But yeah, that was Ross Milburn just out of fourth, lost it.
Jack
went flying off out of turn one. And then we had contact as they were coming round Village and Loop, I think it looked like to me. So, safety car is in its way. Callum White is our race leader. He will meet that, I suspect, as he's probably coming round turn one of lap two. But, well, that's mixed it up a bit, hasn't it, Guido?
A bit. I don't know. I couldn't really see what happened there. It's been recorded.
Well, it was Ross Milburn just lost it. Yeah, he just lost it, basically. I think it was just a question of traction more than anything. Did he lose it or
did he have contact? Because I saw.
I think there may have been contact. But to be honest with you, it's happening so fast. And unfortunately, we don't have the facility of playback, which is a bit frustrating. But yeah, so I believe there may have been contact that instigated that. But yes, certainly that was the start of it, and we did catch that.
We have four drivers in the pits: Ryan Leah, Ryan Doran,
Ross Milburn, Ryan Doran. Yeah, so both the Haas and Jamie Goods. Yeah, so they're all coming in, going on to primarily soft. Apart from Ryan Doran, he's gone on to no, he's gone on to the softs as well. So they're all going on to the softs.
And talk about the tyre situation.
Yeah, I mean it's quite mixed. No hards. Well, sorry, Adrian Rich has gone for the hard, and I've got to say I think that could well serve him well, especially now at this moment in time. He's in P14 anyway, so I think that's probably not a bad shout from him actually starting on the hards. No. But knowing Adrian, he's done some practice runs, probably about 200 plus laps, I would suspect. So most of the drivers are on the mediums. Soft runners: Callum White, Dylan Platt, Lee Pratt, Thomas Cook, Tony Foster, and then right down the bottom, those guys that came in: Ryan Leah, Jamie Good, Ross Milburn, and Ryan Doran. On the mediums: Phil Harris, Jake Sorrell, Josh Diggles, Richard Williams, Sean Street, Jack Wilson, Cameron Widdowson, Matt Goodyear, and Zach Dejean. So guys all being backed here. I don't think the safety car is going to be coming in at the end of this lap. He's only just met him, so it should be the end of lap 3. There are a few drops of rain, but it is a dry track, Guido.
Yeah, it is. I'm getting a comment on the YouTube stream that, from Sander Hermans, who always gives comments.
Oh, he always does. Oh, you think Sander?
He says that the Haas had a jump start, and I haven't seen that.
Yeah, the Haas did have a jump start. That's Ryan Doran. He did pick up a penalty for that. So he definitely moved the grid, but he didn't actually make any contact. He didn't move so far forward. He made contact with a car ahead of him. So yes, he did jump the start there. He was preempting the lights going out, and unfortunately got it wrong.
Who was that? You said Ryan Leah. Ryan Leah has a drive-through.
Yeah, but I think it was pretty sure it was. Have a look. Pretty sure it was Ryan Doran actually that did the jump start. It could have been. No, I'm sure it was Ryan Doran. A quick look actually where
Ryan Doran doesn't have, so it's probably Ryan Leah then, because he's got a drive-through penalty, and that's basically the penalty you get when you get a jump start.
It must have been Ryan Leah then in that case. Where did he start? Let's have a look. Yes, sorry, it was Ryan Leah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, he started in P6. Yeah, it was Ryan Leah. Yeah. So, guys, I suspect will be coming in at the end of this lap 3. Now, the question is when is Callum White going to back them up? I suspect he's going to back them up down the Hangar Straight. That's probably the preferred one, and then release it out of Stowe or down towards Vale, one of the two. What would your thoughts be on that, Guido? Where would you go?
I think I would blast it out turn 18.
So you'd blast it out of the club, you'd hold it right back until the blast out of the club then, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. That's probably the better one to go for, to be brutally honest.
Because you get the traffic jam there.
Yeah, exactly. So we are riding with Callum White at this moment in time. He is our race leader. Took that more or less off the start, actually, from his teammate Dylan Platt. We do have rain coming down. There are droplets, but it is very, very light. It isn't affecting the track in any major way. There's no, doesn't look like too much grease on there.
What tyres are really going to cool down now?
They are really going to cool down, very much so. And you can see,
if you get the restart,
Callum
you get
trying to
turn
weave, trying to get as much heat into those tyres as he possibly can. He's going now.
There he goes.
Yeah, he's off. So Callum White leads the way, Dylan Platt in second. We've got the Ferraris of Phil Harris and Lee Pratt.
Oh.
Lee Pratt having a little look at his teammate.
Thomas Cook spun it.
Jake Sorrell close in behind the two Ferraris there. Still look at this, looking a bit wobbly. Josh Diggles just coming round the loop now. Tony Foster into entry down the Wellington straight. Richard Williams in behind him. Sean Street in close behind him too. Sean Street closing in on the back of Richard Williams round Luffield. Lee Pratt closing in. Oh no, it's gone off. Lee contact. Lee Pratt's gone off, and that was exactly what I was saying earlier, Guido, on that exit of Woodcott. As he was laying down the power, coming out of Luffield, out of Woodcott, laid down the power, spun the car, went into the barrier. And that's Lee Pratt for Ferrari out, and we've got safety car again, Guido.
Safety car too.
So wow. Safety car again. Just trying to see that safety car is out on track. Yeah, and that was Lee Pratt. So Lee Pratt was very tight in behind his teammate as they were coming effectively round Brooklands and into Luffield. And just as he laid down the power on the exit of Luffield into or out of Woodcott, that's where he lost it and laid down too much power, spun the car and went straight into the barrier. And yeah, unfortunately, it's easily done. For those of you who've got experience of the track, you'll understand what I'm talking about there. Yeah. Great shame to see, great shame to see him go out because it was, they were doing so well. P3, P4, but having a little bit of a battle, a little bit of tussle, nothing major, and it's a great shame to see Lee grow out like that. I've got to say.
It's always a shame to see drivers go out, but it's inevitable sometimes.
It's inevitable. It's inevitable.
Inevitable.
It's inevitable.
I didn't drink that much. It is inevitable.
It's inevitable. No, it's me. Don't worry, that's me. Right, let's go through the guys. So Thomas Cook just come into the pits. He's gone for a tyre change there. Gone on to a fresh set of soft tyres. In P17 is Ryan Doran for Haas. And he came in earlier onto those red wall tyres. Then we've got P16, Jamie Good for Toro Rosso. In P15 is Ross Milburn for Racing Point. In P14 is Ryan Lear for Haas. Wrong one there. That's better. Ryan Lear for Haas. And P13, not doing too bad there. The rookie driver Zach Dejean. He's already up into P13, started at the back of the grid, so up 6 places. Respectable, let's keep an eye on him. In P12 we have Adrian Rich, and he's still on those hard wall tyres. And as I say, I think the longer it runs, the more that's going to serve him, actually. It's going to be interesting how that pans out. Keep an eye on Adrian Rich there in the Renault. Cameron Widdowson in the Rocket Williams, he's there in P11. Matt Goodyear for Mercedes, he's in P10. In P9 is Jack Wilson for Renault. P8 is Sean Street for McLaren. P7 is Richard Williams for Toro Rosso. P6 is Tony Foster. So Tony really doing well here. It's from 10 to 6, up 4 places. Could this be the one that's going to get him back in the points? Could we see him on the podium? That would be fantastic to see here at Silverstone. P5 is Josh Diggles in the Rocket Williams. And P4 is Jake Sorrell in the Racing Point. In P3, the lonely, the only Phil Harris in the Ferrari, but looking strong in that P3 position at this moment. So I've got to say, I was going to actually change my call for the win from Thomas Cook to Phil Harris. And in fact, I think I will, because I was going to do that earlier. I wanted to do that. I didn't do it. I'm going to change it.
Doesn't work that way.
I wanted to do it earlier. It's okay. It's
it's okay.
It's okay. I'm the one that's writing it down, so it's okay. Yeah. It's not a problem.
The way you win it.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem. That's the it's the way it is. You know, I'm the broadcaster, the lead commentator. I make the decisions. That's an executive decision. I'm changing it. Sorry, Thomas, but I'll probably regret it. Thomas will probably get it, and then I'll totally eat my words and never do it again. So Phil Harris is in that P3 position. Dylan Platt is in that P2 position. Lovely aerial shot there as they're coming down round where Woodcock to where Lee went off a couple of laps earlier, down the international straight in towards Copse. So that's Dylan Platt there, and Callum White, our race leader, in tight behind. I suspect that we're going to see the safety car come in at the
drizzling.
End of this lap. It's deceiving though when it comes to the game sometimes. I mean, the track is dry. I mean, if you look at it overhead, take this view.
It looks dry.
It's dry.
But if you,
I mean, it could be a little bit of grease there, I reckon. You know, it's every possibility. But Guido, I mean, we didn't call how many safety cars. I don't think because we thought there was going to be too many. We've had 2 safety cars in 6 laps.
I'm going to suspect there's going to be 1 more safety car and 2 VSCs.
No, I don't think there's going to be any more safety cars. There's only going to be 1 VSC. There you go.
I'm not going to comment on that.
Okay, so we are on board with Callum White, our race leader, as he gets underway here. Unfortunate camera angle as he starts off the lap. There we go. Comes out of club now. Teammate Dylan Platt in close behind him. Phil Harris in that P3. Jake Sorrell close in behind. Then we've got Josh Diggles. And Josh Diggles really on the butt cheeks of Jake Sorrell at the moment as they're coming down into turn 3 Village. Very tight in there. Tony Foster though as well, back P6. He's not going to give it up easily, is he? He looks like he's got a bit of grit and determination going on there, Guido. What do you think on that? Definitely gritty. Gritty, yes.
I'm looking at. Sorry, I was looking at something else. Obviously, again, we got 2 guys in the pits going on for intermediates. What do you think about that?
Adrian Rich and Ross Milburn. Now, Adrian Rich coming off the hards and going on to intermediate. Okay, interesting. Tony Foster is in P6, dropping a little bit behind Josh Diggles now. Josh Diggles close in behind Jake Sorrell in P4. And these conditions are definitely changing. Yeah, these cars are definitely a little bit more skittish now, and there's definitely more coming down on the track. But I don't know if it's yet. I don't know. It's coming down heavy. That's the thing, Guido. I'm on board with Phil Harris at this moment in time.
Jamie Good spun the car, lost his wings. He hit the barrier. He's still alive, though.
Yeah, he's just coming off there. But I've got to say, I suspect that we could see drivers coming in. Our leaders, though, they're going to... Yeah, Callum White is in. Dylan Platt has stayed out. Callum White has come in. So they're splitting their difference. And this is great team tactics going on here. Phil Harris jumps up into P2. Jake Sorrell will be moving up into P3.
Ooh. What's going on? Penalties start flying.
Dylan Platt just got the fastest lap. Richard Wilson, 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So Josh Diggles, Tony Foster, Callum White, Jack Wilson, Callum Ridson, Zach Dejean, Richard Williams, Jamie Good, all into the pits. And I suspect everyone is going on to those intermediate tyres, Guido.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they're not. They're not. No. Tony Foster's gone on to the mediums. Ryan Lee has gone on to the softs. And Richard Williams has gone on to the mediums as well. Jamie Good onto the set of softs. Oh, no, he's changing.
Richard Williams is going on to...
Yeah, they are going on to the intermediates.
To softs. It shows on my
screen. Tony Foster's showing as mediums. And he is on mediums, and he's definitely losing traction here. He thought that he might be able to hold. He's just coming round the loop and into Aintree, and he definitely lost traction around a Village. Let's see how he's looking at this moment in time. So Tony Foster comes into the pits, drops down to P9. He's gone to a set of mediums. Front runners staying on the dry tyres. Callum White has come out on a set of intermediates.
Jake Searle's really lining up behind Phil Harris, and he's got a lot of trouble, Maggots and Beckett's.
I've got to say, I don't know if these guys, they're going to have issues. We could see.
He probably come in now.
I don't know, they're having problems. I think they're going to be coming in, definitely.
Yeah.
I can't see him staying out. Phil Harris is staying out. Jake Searle is staying out. Sean Street is coming in. Matt Goodyear.
Ugh.
He's staying out as well. Thomas Cook,
DRS
he's
is
out.
enabled.
So DRS has been enabled.
So it's getting drier.
So it is getting drier. So those guys who ran through it, stayed out, they're now winning out. And I've got to say, I bet Adrian Rich is kicking himself now for coming in and getting on those intermediates. Because he would be a lot further up this field at this moment in time had he not done so.
Oh, he can come in right now. Change it again. Oh, but he won't.
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, DRS has been enabled. Tony Foster, 5-second penalty, speeding in the pit lane. So Foster has come in. And this is really mixing up now because the guys don't seem to know where they're going to go. There's some going onto the mediates, some staying on the dries, others deciding to come in and then get back onto the dries. DRS has been enabled. I mean, this is sending some very conflicting messages to the drivers. I guess you just got to go with what you feel on the track, Guido, haven't you? Surely.
Yeah, but we can't hear what Jeff is saying because Jeff might be saying it's going to be dry.
Jake Searle going very twitchy there out of Woodcock. That's where Lee Pratt lost it a few laps ago. But he kept control of it, but definitely going twitchy there, Jake Searle.
P13, Jack Wilson. That's 105 with 3. Ross Milburn, Cameron Widdowson. Oh, Widdowson goes wide.
Yeah, Widdowson goes very wide there. Jack Wilson coming round Luffield. Now they're wheel to wheel.
Wheel to wheel, dude.
Look at this.
I think there was contact there.
Yeah, out of Woodcock. I think there may have been a bit of wheel banging.
Yeah.
But Jack Wilson, wheel banging, yeah, moves up into P12. Cameron Widdowson is in 13.
Ooh.
Oh, who was that?
Oh, that was Cameron Widdowson. The Williams Cameron Widdowson, he went out, he saved the car though, so it was a good save.
Wow, how the hell did he say I lost that completely? All I saw was this car diving off in the background. And he's got no damage. Very, very lucky there, Cameron Widdowson, not to sustain any damage there.
Yeah, there's a big run off there if you keep the car straight.
Phil Harris is now in P1. Dylan Platt has come in as well. Phil has opted to stay out on those medium compound tyres. Dylan Platt has gone on to the intermediates, as has his teammate Callum White. He came in a lap earlier than him. Yeah, I mean, this could be an inspired decision by Phil Harris or an absolute disaster, couldn't it?
Yeah, this is, I can't predict anything right now because it's still raining. It should be dry. Is it going to be drier? DRS is enabled now, but you see these guys getting in because it's starting to rain harder. 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, Ryan Wilson.
Yeah, that was Richard Williams. Richard Williams, that's the second one he's picked up, I think, actually, for speeding in the pit lane. So Phil Harris is still out on track. He's coming down the International State round Cops now. And I'd say he's looking okay. I mean, he's not driving full pelt. He's definitely being measured about it, but he's looking okay. Oh,
Matt Goodyear's having problems.
Jake Searle's in behind him on the mediums. He's lost a lot of time. 4 seconds.
And
he's
Jake
behind
Searle
Phil Harris.
It's understeer, understeer, understeer. That's all you see.
Phil Harris coming round Stowe now. Say very measured. I mean, he's not full pelt, but he doesn't need to be.
Phil Harris keeps driving. And so does Jake.
I've got to say, though, he's looking comfortable out there. He is looking comfortable out there. I mean, if they can ride this out, I mean, unless it's not going to get really wet, I think it's going to dry up. That being the case, this could be an inspired decision from them. I mean, Dylan Platt is in behind, and he is closing down on Jake Searle, I've got to say, though. So Dylan Platt is, at this moment, closing down on Jake Searle. And Jake's just not... He's just saying, look at this, he's right on his back now as they're coming down to turn 3 of Village. Look at that, side by side. Gets past him. So Dylan Platt moves up into second place.
And he's on intermediate, so he's got way more
And he's on
control.
intermediates. He's definitely got more control there. There's no two ways about it. Now, the thing is now he's going to be able to take Phil Harris as well. Because Phil Harris is going quite gingerly through there. But again, you know, if it's going to dry up, he can afford to lose a bit of time. Not too much time, probably about 10 or 12 seconds, give him a reasonable gap. But what's he going to do? I mean, Dylan now on the international straight. Phil going defensive. They're side by side round the cops. That's the only move he can make. Dylan gets past him. So Dylan gets past him on track.
Those intermediates give you.
Yeah.
So they must be thinking now. They see that, you know. And in the end, I agree what you say. If it starts drying up, then they might have they've made a good call. But I think they made the wrong call to stay outside. So as long as they did.
You've got to measure it up, though. I mean, you've got to weigh it up. I mean, you're looking at about, what, 30-odd, 35, 36 seconds for 2 pit stops. Going onto the wets and then back onto the dries. You know, are you going to make that up on track? And that's what you've got to look at this moment in time. Now, unfortunately, Phil Harris has had Dylan Platt go past him on the track. So that's effectively negated that pit stop. But he's still got about an 18-second pit. Oh, and Dylan really power sliding out of club there, but holds it well. I mean, this is the thing you've got to measure up. Now, you know, Callum White getting past Phil Harris as well, down the start-finish straight into turn 1. So they've now reassumed their position. So, yeah, I guess now it's damage limitation to a degree for Phil Harris. But, you know, is he going to come in? And how much time is he going to lose? Because he's got... Josh Diggles is in behind him now. So Josh Diggles has got past Jake Sorrell. We missed that, unfortunately. That was, I think, coming into turn 3. Josh Diggles now moves up into P4. He's close in behind. Jake Sorrell is now being overtaken by Sean Street on the Wellington Straight. So Sean Street has now moved up into P5. So looking strong there. He's on the intermediates. Josh Diggles definitely going to be challenging Phil Harris before long. He's already had Callum White and Dylan Platt, but what do? You know, if you think it's going to dry up in 2 laps' time, what the hell do you do?
I would go in. I would, you know, there's some blue patches in the sky there, but it's...
Yeah, look at that, Josh Diggles looking to make the move as they're coming into Maggots, gets the move done, gets past Phil Harris. So Josh Diggles now moves up into P3. Phil Harris drops down to 4, and now he's got Sean Street zoning in. Oh, Phil Harris loses it. He loses it as he was coming round Beckett's into Chapel. Straightens up now. Surely now he's got to come in and go onto those intermediates. He hasn't got the grip to lay down the power that he wants. Now he's got Thomas Cook closing in on the back of him. Actually, I'm going to swap back, by the way. I'm going to call Thomas Cook again for the win rather than Phil Harris.
And the penalty, yes, Phil Harris just slides in there.
Phil Harris picks up a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. It's a very, very quick entry, although it is a long run down towards the actual pits itself. So that's not going to help. He's not going to be a happy bunny. I can imagine there's going to be some...
still outside.
There's going to be some choice words going on. So Phil Harris gets onto a fresh set of intermediates. Sean Street is in P4, Thomas Cook is P5, Jake Sorrell is still out on those medium compound tyres. Give it up, I'd say. Yeah, just give it up, Jake. It's just not going to work, mate. You've got your teammate now going past him. So Ross Milburn now gets past his teammate, Jake Sorrell, to take that P6 position. This is the time to come in now. I'll tell you what will happen though. Jake Sorrell will probably come in, and then 2 laps later, they will be coming in for the set of dry tyres.
Yeah.
3-second penalty for Cameron Widdowson for exceeding track limits there. Okay, so everyone's on the intermediates apart from Jake Sorrell, who's now being overtaken by
and
Ross.
Jamie Good still on the softs.
No, he's being... Oh, that was some of the back marker. That was somebody unlapping themselves, I think. That was Ryan Lear, actually, unlapping himself. Now, Thomas Cook is closing in, zoning in on the back of Sean Street as they come down the Hanger Straight. He's only 8/10 off the back of him. Although Jake Sorrell is zoning on Adrian Rich as well. 4/10, 8/10 off the back of him as they come out of Chapel. So that's pretty close there between those two. Oh, look at that, Zach Deschamps. Did you see that move?
Ooh, that was
That was a good move there from Zach Dejean, rookie driver, up into P9. Really cheeky little move there, out of Chapel, went on the outside of Jake Sorrell and got past him. Totally unexpected. That was, that was quite an inspired move. I'm impressed by that. I wish I'd caught more of it, but I'm quite impressed by that, I've got to say. That's Zach Dejean, new driver to F1 Tonight UK, although I'm not too sure as to his league driving abilities or capabilities, but he's not looking too bad here on these intermediates. Made a slick little move there on Jake Sorrell out of Chapel, and now looking to zone in on Adrian Rich by the looks of it. Up to P9, started P19, 10 places, only one DNF. That's impressive in itself, isn't it, for a rookie drive?
Good. That's good. And obviously, he's got a league experience, driving experience. All these drivers have been tested before, not necessarily for speed, but more of, how do you say, driving wit?
Wit and ability and capability.
Abilities?
Ability and capability. You don't have to be the fastest, but you've got to be a good, clean, solid driver. And you do need to put in some reasonable times, but no, we're not looking at the best of the best. Although that said, I've got to say, I think we've got some, certainly ace drivers in the league here, and I would rate anyone at the moment, certainly in that top 5.
Yeah.
And a few others that are outside it as well. Phil Harris. Where else?
Phil Harris doing the same move.
Yeah. That good, looking good. So, Zach Dejean up into P9. Good run from him. Let's have a look down the field here. Oh, we've got Jake Sorrell still on those mediums, being overtaken, dropped down to P12 now. He's just been lapped by Phil Harris, who was ahead of him while he was on. I mean, surely Jake has got to realise, it's like, give it up, mate. It's just, and he's still going round.
I was looking at Richard Williams. He got into the pits and got out with a set of new soft tyres. What's that called? Does he know something we don't?
Jamie Good and Richard Williams. Yeah, Richard Williams has gone onto the softs. Jamie Good is on 2 laps, so he's gone back onto his set of softs. Jake Sorrell just coming down towards turn 3 now, Village, as he comes round. It's round 4, the left-hander of Luke. He's being lapped by Matt Goodyear. But he now drops down into P13. I've got to say, I don't understand why these guys in 17 and 18 have gone on to the soft compact. They're obviously being told by Jeff that the conditions are going to dry, and I've got to say, considering how wet it quickly got, it could dry up. But is it going to dry up that quickly? I think that's a bit of an early call. I've got to say,
it doesn't rain as much, but it still is. If you look at Jake Sorrell, it's really slippery still. He's got a lot of problems keeping the car under control. Really has to work for it. And if that's your cup of tea, I would stay like this. But it looks to me an accident waiting to happen.
Yeah, I've got to say, well, he's staying out there. I mean, we'll have to wait and see what happens. We are on lap 16 of 52. Starting, well, we've gone past the quarter mark. We're approaching the 3rd mark, but not quite to the halfway mark. So that's basically where we are. We've had 2 safety cars. We've had dry conditions to wet conditions. We've had 1 DNF from Lee Pratt. Unfortunately, lost it on the exit of Woodcott, putting it into the barrier there in the old pit entrance on the International Straight. Rather unfortunate, but it is the way it goes. We've seen a few other drivers twitch there, but they managed to hold it. At this moment in time, Dylan Platt has reassumed that P1 position, was in P1 for the start of this race. Quickly lost it to his teammate Callum White, who's in P2, but he's maintained it. He's 6 seconds ahead of his teammate Callum White in P2. Josh Diggles is another 9.9 seconds down the road to them in P3. Sean Street for McLaren is in P4. Thomas Cook for Alfa Romeo is P5. Ross Milburn for Toro Rosso, for Racing Point is in P6.
P15, Ryan Doran just came in and he got onto a set of mediums.
Yeah,
so
it is drying up. It is drying up.
It's showing that it's going to go less.
It is definitely dry. The rain has stopped.
Williams just came in and got a set of intermediates.
Yeah, it has. Richard Williams has gone to a set of intermediates. He's going to regret that choice because it's definitely gone dry. Dylan Platt is coming round now, and now he's just come over the line, round down into the village turn now. He's going to be coming off those intermediates, I suspect, pretty damn quick.
It's still slippery.
Yeah, it is, but I don't know. Let's have a look. I mean, there's definitely a dry line there. There's definitely a dry line. There's definitely, dry conditions.
And now you got Jake Sorrell driving on 15-lap-old mediums.
Yeah, but it's not going to help him, Guido. Even if everyone comes in and starts the pit, it is not going to help him. At the most, it's probably going to push him up into P9 when he was in P4. Phil Harris is in P10. I mean, I don't know. I don't think he's going to gain. It's all going to be a question of where he sits in relation to Phil Harris.
He almost loses it.
So everyone coming into the pits now. Jake Sorrell just coming round onto the start-finish straight now. Everything that he's gained there, 16 laps. I mean, I don't know what those tyres are going to be going in, but he's probably going to be only able to go to the high 20s, early low 30s anyway on those tyres. So it's going to be interesting to see. He is ahead of Phil Harris.
Oh, Adrian Rich is disqualified.
Oh my goodness, what's happened there?
I think he slid out and turned the car.
Looks like out of turn 1 or turn 2.
Out of turn 1, yeah. He came out of the pits. He's on the hard compound tires, and he probably pushed it too hard and slid out, and then it's done. And he just, I have to say, the game is going to be is unforgiving at the moment, because I see a lot of drivers disqualified in the game. It was last week as well.
Callum White is in the pits. Dylan Platt is in the pits. It's showing Dylan coming out on a set of intermediates, a fresh set of intermediates. I don't quite believe that, but let's have a look what happens when he gets out on track.
No, I don't believe that. Yes.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Okay.
Well, that must be a mistake then.
That must be a mistake. Callum White is coming out on a set of softs. Sean Street, he's gone onto the softs. Josh Diggles has gone onto the hards, interestingly enough. Ross Milburn onto the softs. Thomas Cook, he's coming in again into the pits. He's already on the softs, so not too sure. It's a nose change for him. He's going on to the medium, so nose change and mediums to Thomas Cook. Zach Dejean is out, and Zach Dejean, loses it. Look at it. He's out. Zach Dejean loses it there on the exit of Abbey, coming down towards Farm, and has a DNF'd. What a shame. So Zach Dejean for Mercedes, doing so well, just pushed it out a little bit too hard and went out there. Zach Dejean for Mercedes, the rookie driver. It happens, but he's going to be disappointed with that. And there is another safety car, Guido.
What did I say? 3 safety cars?
You did say 3 safety cars, to be fair. You did say that.
Oh, don't sound so disappointed.
I'm not disappointed. So Dylan Platt leading the way. Let's stay with him and wait till he catches up with the. He's actually coming into the pits, Dylan Platt.
Yeah, well, that's it suited suits him
well.
The safety car.
So I'll tell you what, that is. How lucky is that though? Because he clearly came out on those intermediates in error.
Yeah.
But how lucky is that? As soon as he comes out of the intermediates, somebody else crashes, the safety car comes out and gives him the opportunity to come in and actually go onto the tyres that he wanted to, which are going to be those Red Raw soft tyres.
Yeah.
He's out. No, it's okay. It's just a bit of a delay there from the game itself. Let's get back to him.
He stays in third.
He does stay in third. Oh, hang on. I'm not showing him out on track yet. No, he doesn't. He's come out in...
fifth. He's still in the pit.
I'm showing him as still in the pit. He's coming out now.
He's
there
out
we
now.
go. He's out now. So he's out on track now.
5th. Okay.
So he's dropped down to 5th. Callum White takes the lead. Sean Street is in 2nd. Josh Diggles is 3rd. Ross Milburn is 4th. And Dylan Platt is 5th. Well, we'll stay with Callum White then. He's with the safety car.
Do you want to change that as well, or you want to on the list? Oh, well, yeah, he can unlap himself. And Ryan Leah is disqualified for ignoring Jamie Good. 5-second penalty, ignoring yellow flag. What's going on here? Is it showing disqualifications everywhere that aren't there? Because, yeah, obviously. I don't know if the people who are watching have seen this as well. I'm also getting all kinds of disqualifications here and there, but it's not showing that they are. So I don't really know what's going on there, but it's something Codemasters really have to work on it. Having said that, the new game is coming, so probably won't update it as much as they usually did, and I hope they fix it until the next game comes.
I presume, Guido, unfortunately I didn't quite, lost a bit of contact there. I presume you're talking about, obviously, the condition with the tyres and...
No. You know, I was saying I was getting a lot of images of cars being disqualified again.
Oh.
And it seems to come up... I saw 3 people getting disqualified, and they're not disqualified. So, and I was just saying that the problem with this is... something Codemasters really have to work on, because it's quite annoying if you're trying to...
I was about to say, but I don't get that, so I'm wondering if it's a second spectator glitch. Do you know what I mean? So obviously we're both spectating, so it's got to be a spectator glitch.
It could be, but it's annoying anyway. That we see these disqualifications. We're trying to talk about it, and they're not disqualified. You know, it's strange.
Well, yeah, but as you say, Masters, whichever one it is.
We say prutsers.
You say what?
Prutsers.
What's a prutser when it's at home then, Guido?
Yeah, it's about messer. Code messer.
Oh, right, okay, code prutsers, yeah. Okay, that's good. I like that. Okay, so we're on board with Callum White coming around down the international straight now. Safety car still ahead. I suspect the safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap. 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flag for Richard Williams. Oh dear.
Unbelievable.
Richard Williams has been disqualified, I've got, for ignoring a yellow flag.
Exactly. And on the list, he's still there. And it should grey out if he is disqualified. So I can't make up if they're getting penalties for this. And obviously I can check that, but it's... no. Yeah, it's got 3 penalties on lap 19, so the lap they're on, and the warning, but it doesn't say he's disqualified. That's what I was talking about. It's really annoying. It just doesn't... I don't understand it.
No, it's a bit bizarre.
Because he can unlap himself, so he can really push it.
Callum White now coming round, but the safety car is still out. So safety car will remain out until the end of lap 20. Yeah, so we've got another lap to go,
the back markers can get back to the line.
I guess that's Richard Williams, because he's 56 seconds behind the rest of the field. The rest of them are pretty much bunched up then.
Yeah. What you munching on?
Actually, Guido, as a point of interest, I looked up the the safety car, which is the Mercedes AMG. And I decided to do a lap of Silverstone on PC2 in it. Oh my God, what a nightmare. Oh, I was on cold tyres though, to be fair, but even so, it's just like, I can appreciate now, watching that go round, how frustrating it must be for those guys when you're behind in an F1 car. And, you know, you just want to go, because this thing, it's like having a milk float ahead of you when you're driving down the motorway. That's probably the best synergy I could draw on that. On a milk float, I don't know if you have them in Holland, they're electrically powered. So basically like a golf buggy, you know, holding you up on a motorway.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
All right, safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap. We are coming down the hanger straight. Callum White looking to get some heat into those tyres. We're on lap 21, the 52. We are at the halfway mark for this F1 tonight, UK Season 2 British Grand Prix. We pretty much had it all. We've had 3 safety cars in 21 laps. We've had dry to wet to dry conditions, a typical British summer in a typically British summer race. And Callum White now heads off down the straight. Sean Street, Josh Diggles in behind him. Ross Milburn, Dylan Platt is in P5, Jack Williamson is in P6, Phil Harris is in P7. Oh, look at this, he's right on the back of Jack Wilson here as they're coming down round into turn 3, gets ahead of him. Lovely move into village there by Phil Harris. I've got to say, on Jack Wilson, sorry. Really good move. So Phil Harris moves up into P6, Dylan Platt is closing down.
Thomas Cook is already done. Ooh. We're side by side. Yeah,
Cameron Woodson is closing down on the back of Thomas Cook, trying to see if he can get a little look as they're coming down round Brooklands. Misses his point there. But this is really close. Jake Sorrell right on the tail of Cameron Widdowson there in the Williams. Can he take advantage of it down the international straight? Williams trying to block. And you've got the McLaren as well. There are Tony Foster in the mix. Jake Sorrell gets through, Cameron Widdowson, Ryan Durant. Look at this, wheel-to-wheel action as they're coming down into Maggots there. Tony Foster just in behind him, watching all this happen. Cameron Widdowson goes right there. Oh, he's trying to get on the inside of Ryan Durant as they're coming into Chapel. Oh, and Tony Foster loses it there, round Chapel. Manages to hold it onto the track there. He gets taken there. Jamie Good is closing in on the back of him. A lot of action happening there in the back there. But Cameron Widdowson, he's on the hard compound tyres, trying to figure out why he just didn't seem to have the same amount of grip. He's trying to close down now on Ryan Torres. They're coming into 16, 17. Makes contact. I don't think there's any damage to his front wing.
Yeah, Cameron Widdowson flew, I saw the wing end plate flying off. He's got his
he's lost his end plate.
plate.
Now, Tony Foster, Ryan Lear trying to make the move as they come down in turn 1. Oh, Ryan Lear, just makes contact with Tony Foster there, doesn't spin him out. Well held there by the McLaren driver of Foster's. They're coming into turn 3 village now, around turn 4, the loop. And this is really close action at the back of the field here. Real fighting going on. Ryan Lear gets ahead of Cameron Widdowson. Remember, Cameron Widdowson on those hard compound tyres, trying to block Tony Foster as he's coming through. Can't look him as they come down into Brooklands. Foster makes the move, gets round. Widdowson coming back as Widdowson cuts in front of him as they're coming round Luffield, cuts back again. Foster gets past him. Such a difference between those tyres. You can see it there, couldn't you, Guido?
Yeah, that's wicked. You can really see them they're picking in different lines, and the harder compound just has a little bit of trouble getting the grip on the pavement, on the tarmac, as you say. And Tony gets the better one.
Great move there, absolutely fantastic.
Coming closer.
Jake Sorrell now closing in on the back of Thomas Cook. Dear me, coming round Stowe, down Vale, into the final chicane there. 3-second penalty for Sorrell.
Yeah, well, Sorrell as well. They're really close to each other. See what happens in the next corner. Oh, another penalties flying everywhere.
Phil Harris is starting to close in on the back of Josh Diggles as well. Matt Goodyear getting past Ross Milburn for P6 up ahead.
I just got a little bit of info about that tire change of Dylan Platt. He lost connection, and probably his AI.
Ah, right.
Changed it.
So Ross Milburn coming down now into Brooklands, trying to close down on Matt Goodyear. Phil Harris has got past Josh Diggles. That, I suspect, was into Brooklands round Luffield. Ross Milburn zoning in on the back of Matt Goodyear at this moment in time.
Dylan Platt's also laying up to take Sean Street.
Matt Goodyear goes wide round Cox. Sorry, Guido, I've just got to stay on this because we've got a good shot here with Ross at this moment in time. It's really closing in now, should make the move on Matt Goodyear.
Impact goes a little bit wide.
Yep, into the pits goes Josh Diggles. So he's going to be coming off those hard compound tires that just isn't working for him. Ross Milburn comes across. So Ross Milburn is now in P6. In P5 is Matt Goodyear for Mercedes. In P4 is Phil Harris for Ferrari. P3 is Sean Street for McLaren. And Dylan Platt only, well, just ahead of him there actually. Dylan Platt only 5/10 ahead of Sean Street, and Callum White 2.3 seconds ahead of them. A little bit further down as he comes round Copse now. But Sean Street is pushing at this moment on Dylan Platt, isn't he?
Dylan Platt just overtook Sean Street, was in the fight. And it was a little bit of a hard fight. I don't know if Sean was blocking a bit. It seemed like it to me, but actually, obviously, I'm not a judge. I'm just calling as I see it at that moment. I don't know. It was a good fight, and at the end, Dylan Platt was a little more aggressive and just closed the door.
Well, that did the job. Gets him back up into P2. Sean Street still staying in close behind, certainly. Let's have a look. Thomas Cook just got past Jack Wilson. Jack Wilson. Got Jack, you know, you got sort of like, Williams and Richard Williams, Jack Wilson, yeah,
I know.
But anyway, we get there. So Thomas Cook moves up into P6. So actually, let's have a quick look through the field because it seems to have settled down a little bit at this moment in time. So Jamie Good for Toro Rosso currently runs in P16. DNFs, we have Zach Dejean, Lee Pratt and Adrian Rich. Jamie Good is in P16. In P15 is Josh Diggles, came in off those hard compound tyres, were simply not working for him. He was just getting overtaken left, right and centre. He got himself up into a good position, got up in that, I think it was P3 at one point, P4, on his previous tyres. Came in, went onto the hard compound tyres, didn't work for him, come back in, now gone onto a set of mediums. He's in P15. In P14 is Richard Williams in the Toro Rosso. Again, not being the race he was looking for. I think he's going to be disappointed with being there at this moment in time. He's on 10 lap old set of soft, so they'll probably run for about another 6 or 7 laps, and then he'll have to come in, and let's see what happens there. Cameron Wilson
is lining up for an attack on Jack Wilson. Wilson. I don't, just as you said.
They're coming through Vale. Just about to come round Club now. Definitely losing time to that Renault ahead of him of Jack Wilson.
Yeah, and he was closing in.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens there.
Well, maybe he's got. Maybe he's got low downforce, so the Renault's going to be faster through the tighter corners.
Yeah. He loses a bit of grip. He locks up.
So let's go back with these. Cameron Widdowson is in P13. P12 is Tony Foster for McLaren. He's not going to be totally happy with that. He was in the top 10, he was in P8, but anyway, it is what it is. I think he'll still be in the points though. P11 is Ryan Lear for Haas. In P10 is his teammate Ryan Doran, so they're in 10 and 11 at this moment in time, Team Haas. In P9 is Ross Milburn for Racing Point, and in P8 is his teammate Jake Sorrell, so an 8-9 for Racing Point with Jake Sorrell and Ross Milburn. Then as we were just watching, Jack Wilson, he's in P7 for Renault. Obviously his teammate Adrian Rich went out earlier on the exit of turn 1. Thomas Cook for Alfa Romeo is in P6, and he's zoning in at the moment on the back of Matt Goodyear in the Mercedes. So he's definitely pushing it there, isn't he, against Matt? Let's have a little look here as they come round Aintree onto Wellington Straight. Yeah, and he makes the move. So Thomas Cook
I believe there's an
gets
AI
ahead of
driving.
Matt Goodyear.
Matt Goodyear seems to be AI.
Oh, right, okay. That would make sense. That's why it looked pretty straightforward. Let's actually get on board with Jack Wilson.
And now it looks like he's back.
Yeah, now he's back. Yeah, he is back, and he's fighting back wholeheartedly. Coming back at Thomas Cook now, as they're coming down into Stowe. Oh, look at this, side by side. Oh, Thomas Cook nearly losing it there. He's got Jack Wilson now zoning on the back of him because he went a bit of slidey round the exit of Stowe. Is Jack Wilson in the Renault going to be able to make the move on Thomas Cook as they come down into turn 1? Let's go on board and see. Certainly good pace from the Renault through this first sector. Dropping down now into Village. Round the loop. Out of Aintree, is he close enough? He's 4/10 off. Don't think that's close enough. Trying to get a draft off the back of that Alfa Romeo into Brooklands. Really closing down there into Luffield now. Oh, don't go too round Woodcock. And they're really pushing it this moment in time, aren't they, Guido?
Yeah, if you get a lot of grip at this moment, it's and then if you see the weather conditions different driving, you would gladly push it this hard because you really feel good having all this grip, have the potential to fire.
Well, Jack Wilson certainly pushing. Thomas Cook though, definitely closing on the back of Matt Goodyear.
Making an attack. Yeah, he did it.
Yeah, he did it.
Oh, he's gonna
Jack, whoa!
Almost hit each other.
That was close.
Oh, there's another
And
guy
Ross Milburn as well, trying to get a little look in there as well on Jack Wilson. So both the Red Racing Point drivers looking to make a move on the Renault there. Jake Sorrell made it stick, got up into that P6 position. He's now looking to save on Thomas Cook. Thomas Cook still very much concentrating on Matt Goodyear, who's ahead of him. Actually, he's gone back. No, it's not AI. Trying to see if he can get a better line into Brooklands than that Mercedes. Very different racing line actually from Matt Goodyear through that Brooklands and Luffield, I noticed. And it was actually quite a straight line that he was taking. That's quite an interesting line he was taking there. I don't know if you call that at all, Guido.
No, sorry, I was with Ross Milburn, and they're just I'm just trying to look at the fights a bit, but I'll watch that back. See what you meant. Yeah,
I'll catch it again.
Making a move again. Oh!
Thomas Cook trying to make the move. Sorry.
His teammate.
Thomas Cook trying to make the move on Matt Goodyear. Doesn't quite make it stick. Just going to try again. Definitely going to go for it out of the club here. Sorry,
he's got tire problems. He's gone in.
Yeah, Ross Milburn into the pits. 13 laps he did on those soft tyres. We've got leaders on 12, 13 and 14 laps. Old soft tyres.
Well, that's their duration.
Let's see what they can do now, though. Thomas Cook still very much trying to close in on the back of Matt Goodyear. Not happy he got past him and really sticking to him, I've got to say. This is so tight between these two guys at this moment in time. Really, really sparring here. Now, is Thomas Cook going to be able to make the move? He's going to go for a late break as they come into Stowe. Right on the tail, doesn't make it. He's going to try again into this chicane and out of club. He's got to stay right on the gearbox there, and Matt Goodyear to make it work.
Oh, a little wider.
Let's go on board with Matt Goodyear, sorry, Matt Cook. Matt Goodyear in the Mercedes. Well, watch his approach into Brooklands and Nuffield, because it looked quite different. It's quite a straight line, actually, so... No, still the same. I think that's because he knew he had Thomas Cook on his back. Yeah. I think that makes a difference. Well, maybe that's why he took a different line a couple of laps ago.
Yeah, a little bit more defensive driving.
But these guys, I think, are going to be battling out for quite a while now. But, OK, Guido, we're on lap 32 of 52. This is F1 Tonight, UK, Season 2, Round 10, the British Grand Prix. It's, as usual, thrills, spills, and mighty more in between. 3 DNFs, Adrian Rich, well, Lee Pratt, first man going out, followed by Adrian Rich in the Renault, and then Zach Dijon on his rookie race. He was doing very, very well, though, got to say, up until that point. But Zach Dijon went out for Mercedes. Those are the 3 DNFs. In the race still, we have Jamie Goode, Ross Milburn, Richard Williams, Josh Diggles, Cameron Widdowson, Tony Foster, Phil Harris, Ryan Doran, Ryan Lear, Jack Wilson, Jake Sorrell, Thomas Cook, Matt Goodyear, Sean Street, Callum White and Dylan Platt, who we are on board with at this moment in time. 19 laps now remaining. It's looking pretty solid at this moment in time, I've got to say, for Red Bull. But anything can happen. I mean, there's only 4 seconds the gap between Sean Street and Callum White, 2 seconds to Dylan Platt. Matt Goodyear as well, 11 seconds, but he's on a set of mediums. These guys are going to have to be coming in soon, and that could give Matt Goodyear an opportunity to, well, probably get up into P2, if not P1. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Guido, but it's looking that way at this moment, isn't it?
If he... well, Matt Goodyear has been in a few fights, so tires are probably more shot than when you have your normal drive. But otherwise, he could have finished the race, probably. I think it's stretching it a bit, 30 laps, but you could finish the race on this.
Well, you're saying that he could potentially finish the race on 6... he's got 16 lap old tyres. He's got 18 laps remaining. He could go those 36 laps, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't think he's going to do it now because he had too many fights for it. So I think he lost a lot of had a bit of damage to his...
I guess we could say the same for the Alfa Romeo, who's tight in behind him, Thomas Cook as well, because he's on 16-lap old medium. So those guys are pretty fair.
So they're going to have to come in.
Okay, so who's come in? No one's come in as yet. Sean Street is in third place at this moment in time, but he hasn't come in as yet. Who's going to be the front runner here? Do you think it's going to come in, Guido? Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Dylan, Callum, or Sean, the first one to come in off those? I mean, obviously Sean Street is on the older set, but how deep can he go?
I think Sean's going to come in first.
Well, I mean, considering, let's remind ourselves where he actually started. Started in P11, so up 8 places. Matt Goodyear started in P13, 13 places, started in P17. He's up 13 places to P4. I mean, that's a great run from Matt Goodyear. And I've got to say, we haven't seen Matt Goodyear again deliver as much as he can, I think, this season. Are we seeing a bit of a revival from Matt Goodyear, do you think?
Yeah, maybe it was aggressive, so maybe he is on his second wind, to say.
It'll certainly be an interesting
I hope so.
one. Yeah, it'd be good. I mean, it'd be nice to see, certainly.
Yeah.
So we are on board with Sean Street at this moment in time. He is in that P3 position. Up, as I said, 8 places. Matt Goodyear, who's tight in behind him at this moment in time. He started P17, up 13 places, so certainly solid. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just wondering who's going to be the first one to come in. I mean, how deep can they go? And it's 17 laps remaining, 16 laps on there. I mean, clearly we're going to see the front runners come on to another set of softs, Guido, because I mean they can clearly make it, can't they?
Yeah, yeah, everybody should be driving on the soft. I think Jack Wilson is on the hard compound. He's not going to stop anymore.
I don't think, and nor is Cameron Widdowson, to be fair. He's on the hard compound as well.
Yeah, they're not going to stop it.
Well, they shouldn't stop.
Yeah, okay. They shouldn't stop it if you...
But again, you know, I mean, they'll be going a while on those. 18 laps for Cameron Widdowson and 18 laps for Jack Wilson as well. So clearly they're comfortable with those. It's just a question of whether they can keep the speed up. I mean, obviously less weight. The harder compound tyres do have that stint where they sort of come in, and I guess that's probably where they are at the moment. They're probably about sort of around about 40-odd% wear if they've taken care of them. So, you know, they're good tyres to go, certainly to the end of the race. It's just a question of how much time they could potentially lose and those behind him. But I mean, he's got 8 seconds, Jack Wilson, to Ryan Lear behind him, and Cameron Widdowson's got 26 seconds to Ross Milburn behind him. So they're pretty comfortable, I'd say.
Yeah, I think so too. They will jump up if the other guys will come in. Jake Sora has come in now, so he's got new tyres. And I don't know.
16 laps remaining, Guido. I mean, surely these guys are going to come in. I mean, I'm wondering if, 12 laps is probably the preferred that they would love to go to. If they do another 4 laps, take them up to, Dylan Platt to 21 laps, Callum, I think would be 22 laps. So I think we could see that. Callum White just getting past the back marker there, I think, of Jamie Good.
Oh, my good, yes, no, right. And Thomas Cook are finding it out.
Yeah, that's on the international straight.
They've been overtaken.
Coming down into Cops now.
Oh.
So Thomas Cook did make the move on Matt Goodyear. I suspect around Brooklands and Luffield, or on the exit thereof, and he's really showing good pace here. Look at that, through Maggots and Beckett's. He's pulling away from Matt Goodyear. That's astounding. That's really good going. But then again, it's the tyre difference, isn't it? Matt Goodyear is... well, no, it's no tyre difference. Sorry, they're both on the same set of medium. Sorry, I was looking at that wrong.
1 lap older.
Yeah, just 1 lap older. So, yeah, Thomas Cook definitely going for it there. I'd reckon he's dialed up the ERS. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Guido, but I suspect he's dialed up the ERS.
Yeah, they're both got 46%.
They're both sort of pushing it, really, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh, he's just pulling away now a little bit. And let's see where I think it's obviously Matt Goodyear can see where he has to brake, so he can brake a little bit. Oh, Thomas Cook Lost it a little bit on the side. It's going a bit wide.
Well, now's the opportunity. Now's the opportunity for Matt Goodyear to come back.
Ooh, and he keeps it. He keeps it.
Yeah, but this is where I think Thomas Cook made the move on him a couple of laps ago, and he's going to be looking to come back on that.
Yeah, makes it. It's good defending. Nice.
Solid defending there from Thomas Cook in the Alfa Romeo. Definitely.
Look at this. Here we go again.
Matt Goodyear showing a lot more pace now through Maggots.
Yeah.
Into Beckett's, around Chapel.
Than the lap before.
Definitely a lot more pace there. Feels a lot more confident, really laying it down now. He's got an opportunity, I think, here.
Yeah.
On the exit of Stowe. Thomas Cook keeping good speed and line down as they come down into the final chicane, 16-17. Get themselves lined up round club. Matt Goodyear losing a little bit of pace there. Doesn't give the opportunity to try and see if he can make the move round turn 1, Abbey into 2 Farm.
We got Callum White and Sean Street in the pits.
Okay, so Dylan Platt has stayed out. Callum White and Sean Street have opted to come in. Jamie Good's actually on AI. Oh, that's why he's at the back. Okay, so Jamie Good on AI, he's right at the back. Both the drivers, Matt Goodyear and Thomas Cook, getting past him. That's pushed Matt Goodyear now into P3, Thomas Cook into P2, as I suspected they would do on those medium compounds, because they can go through to the end of this race here. This is going to look very interesting. Actually, I really do want to change my winner of the race back to Thomas Cook now, Guido.
I'm not going to comment on that.
Well, actually, to be fair, you told me I couldn't change it, so really, I didn't. I didn't change it. I didn't just cross it out and rewrite Thomas Cook, honestly.
Yeah, honestly.
Honestly. So Matt Goodyear is in P3, Thomas Cook is now in P2, Dylan Platt is into the pits. 22 seconds is the gap he's got to Thomas Cook. He has got to make this count. It is just within the window. Thomas Cook just coming down into the chicane now, into turn 16. Dylan Platt is coming out of the pits. Thomas Cook coming up and around club onto the start-finish straight now. Dylan Platt just coming up to the exit. Is he going to miss it? I think he is. I think he is. I think Thomas Cook, he has. So Thomas Cook takes P1, Matt Goodyear is in P2, and Dylan Platt comes out on track in P3. Jack Wilson is in P4, trying to get past the AI there of Jamie Good, and Callum White is in P5. He's just coming into the loop now, trying to get past again that AI of Jamie Good. Nicely done, gets past him. But Guido, we have now got 13 laps remaining. Matt Goodyear is pushing round Luffield on Thomas Cook. Thomas Cook leading this race. Matt Goodyear is in second place and pushing him as hard as he can. This is a little bit unexpected. We didn't see this one coming.
I think Dylan Platt's going to come in and he's going to overtake these two guys. He's really close. It's just 4 seconds. There's too much distance there, and he can. With these tires, he can really pick up the pace. So I see them overtaking. I see Dylan overtaking Matt and Thomas as well.
Yeah, but you say that. I mean, Dylan's come out on a scrubbed set of softs, remember? 8 laps old.
8 laps old, yeah.
You know, he's going to be doing, effectively, 20 laps.
He's going to be pushing it hard.
He's going to have to be pushing those tyres hard. They're not in their prime, let's put it like that. So he's got his work cut out for him. That's probably why he's trying to go a little bit deeper, because he knew he'd have to go onto a scrub set. I mean, he has, by the looks of it, just set the fastest middle sector of the race. So he is pushing, but he's 4 seconds off the back of Matt Goodyear at this moment in time.
See, also the other Red Bull is also closing fast.
Well, Callum White is only 2 hundredths off the back of Jack Wilson at this moment in time. He's clearly going to be looking to try and make the move into Brooklands. Just set the fastest first sector, Callum White. of the race. Close in behind Jack Wilson in the Renault at this moment in time, really riding that slipstream. It's going to stay with him round Copse. He's going to look to try and make the move
and this is
out of Chapel.
He's going to have to stay behind.
He's going to make the move out of Chapel. Coming out Beckett's now into Chapel. Has he got enough pace though to make it stick though? This is the question, Guido. Straight line speed from that Renault is very, very good. He's going to try and do it into Stowe now. Gets ahead of him. Nicely done.
Nice move.
Nicely done by Callum White there. Stays ahead. That was a good solid move, as you quite rightly say there. Gets ahead of Jack Wilson. So Callum White moves up into that P4 position. Dylan Platt is in P3. He's now 2.5 seconds off. Remember, he was just under 4 seconds off on the previous lap.
Yeah.
So on that basis, he's going to be catching up with these guys probably around about lap 43, 44, if not sooner.
He's already looking at them.
Yeah, you can see them at the end of the Wellington Straight there as they're coming into Brooklands. So Dylan Platt coming back strong, I've got to say. 20 laps he can do, certainly, we know, on those soft compound tyres. Not the ideal, they're not a fresh set of softs that he's gone on to. But there are 11 laps remaining, so this is very doable, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and he likes to push the tyres. He likes to push them to the end.
Yeah, that is very true.
I don't think he's going to have too much trouble with it.
So
and Matt keeps pushing. He keeps going, and he's not letting up.
No, Matt Goodyear is definitely not giving up in any way, shape or form. I mean, both those guys there at this moment in time are pushing hard, and you can see that. But obviously, it's not going to be doing their medium compound tyres much good.
No, it never does. But
Dylan zoning in now 1.2 seconds off the back of Matt Goodyear. Good pace from Matt through turn 1 and 2. Coming up round the loop now. Line up into Aintree. Then onto the Wellington Straight with the DRS. He's got the DRS enabled.
That's it's good defensive driving as Thomas Cook, because he still stays in front of there.
Yeah, he does. He is. Well, it's good defensive and good straight line speed. I mean, just good overall speed actually from Thomas Cook. But Matt Goodyear trying to do all that he can, and now Dylan Platt within DRS zone, only 0.6 seconds, 600ths off the back of Matt Goodyear. He's definitely going to look to try and make the move out of Chapel here, and Matt Goodyear now is, I'm sure, more than aware that he's got that Red Bull zoning in on the back of him. Concentration is on Thomas Cook, but now it's being distracted by that Red Bull, and Dylan is definitely going to make the move on him. There's no two ways about it.
Well, they both have DRS, so that's why they're sticking next to each other, and obviously Dylan has a little bit more grip, so he can outbrake him.
Dylan gets ahead now. He's got to close in now on Thomas Cook. Comes through the chicane, out of turn 17, line up into club, on the exit, onto that start-finish straight. He's going to try and make the move into Wellington. If he can get close enough, I guess he will do. Certainly closing down round Abbey and Farm into Village now.
Yeah, he will get the DRS
round the loop. He's definitely going to have the DRS. He's got it, picked it up there. 4 tenths, 5 tenths off the back. Is he going to be? He's not got enough room to make the move into. I don't think he's got enough time to, or enough space to make the move into Brooklands. He hasn't. Now, if Thomas Cook makes a mistake here, can he get him on the international straight? Out of Woodcock. I think he's going to try and make the move down. Yes, look at this.
Oh.
Side by side, Thomas Cook going defensive there.
Was there contact? It must be.
That was a fraction of a touch though, Guido. I mean, that was a racing. I mean, there was no malice certainly intended there in any way, shape or form, but definite little bit of contact there with Thomas Cook, just on the wheel, just enough to spin him out. Fortunately, no damage there, but Thomas Cook drops down into P4.
He drops down 2 places.
Yeah, he's dropped down into P4, and he's going to be champing at the bit now. He's got 9 laps remaining, but he needs to try and get past Callum White on a relatively fresh set of soft tyres. Only 6 laps. I don't think he's going to be able to do it, to be brutally honest with you, Guido, but I think he's going to give it a damn good go. But Callum White is now in P3, so Matt Goodyear finds himself in a Red Bull sandwich at this moment in time. But I've got to say, fantastic race from Matt Goodyear. Good to see, in all sincerity. Yeah. Really, really good to see. Coming in round Brooklands into Luffield now. So good run from him. He's got Callum White just under 5 seconds behind him. Dylan Platt has reassumed that P1 position. He's 2.7 seconds ahead of Matt Goodyear. We've got 8 laps remaining. Question is now, Tony Foster picks up a 3-second time penalty. Tony Foster down in P11. Question is now, Guido, is Callum going to have enough time to get past Matt Goodyear? 4.5 seconds. It should be a done deal, shouldn't it?
Should it? Yeah.
Well, I think so. I mean, going very wide out of Stowe there. But he's definitely pushing it, isn't he? But he's still 4 seconds off the back. He's taken 5/10 out. I think Callum's going to be pushing it hard, but I don't know. It might be a bit too much. Matt Goodyear picked up a 3-second time penalty. Now, we haven't taken into account time penalties, Guido, I've got to say. But I don't know. It might be worthwhile checking what we got on Matt Goodyear, Callum White and Thomas Cook, because they're all pretty damn tight. Sean Street at this moment in time is closing in, zoning in on the back of Thomas Cook as well. So Thomas Cook making that slight... Oh, safety car's out. Guido, safety car is out. This is for Ross Milburn. Ross Milburn has gone out. Yeah, Ross Milburn went out again. And that was on the exit of Luffield coming into Woodcock. And again, it's that area, Guido, that I was saying before. You know, if you lay down the power, we saw Lee Pratt go out there the early stages on lap 3. And the same thing's just happened to Ross Milburn.
All right, then Callum is going to close in now. And to be fair, it doesn't really make a difference that much, because I think Matt Goodyear has about 6 penalties. And then Callum has got 1. Yeah, but now everything's going to be shaken up. It's going to be pulled back together under the safety car. And, you know, it cools down the tires a bit. It stretches the length, obviously, a bit. Oh, what happened there? Oh, you got Thomas Cook going into the pits. Jack Wilson going into the pits. Matt Goodyear going into the pits. So he's lost that position anyway. He's lost that position anyway.
But then again, he's not necessarily going to lose too much coming into the pits, though, to be fair, at the moment, because everyone else is going to be coming in. If you watch, everyone else behind him is coming in, so it's not really going to make a hell of a lot of difference. Jack Wilson looks like he's got some sort of time penalty that he's serving. Phil Harris as well. He's gone on for a fresh set of soft tyres. Ryan Lears into the pits, Jake Sorrell in the pits. So everybody's into the pits. They're all going to be trying to see if they can get that fast lap. Matt Goodyear does go to pits, but he's come out on 11 lap old set of mediums.
Yeah, well, that's better than the tyres he had.
Yeah. Sean Street, in the meantime, has jumped up into P3.
Yeah.
So we could be seeing Sean Street on the podium, certainly as it stands at this moment in time. So Sean Street is in P3. Matt Goodyear comes out in P4. Thomas Cook is now 7 seconds off the back of him, but he is on a fresh set of softs. But it's all a question of how long this safety car is going to be out, Guido. I mean, safety car is currently with our race leader, Dylan Platt, as they're coming through Maggots around Beckett. So it's not going to be coming in at the end. It's probably not going to be coming in until the end of lap. Well, Josh Diggles is 35 seconds off Tony Foster. Tony Foster, 13 seconds. I reckon it's going to be the end of lap 48, Guido. That's going to mean 4 laps racing.
Yeah, I don't know if there's still back markers trying to unlap themselves. It might be a lap more. I don't know. It's and then you get a sprint in the end.
Yeah, that's true.
Because these guys are really pushing it in the back, so they're really going to get close now. Matt Goodyear's gone into the pits again. What happens there?
Is he into the pits again? No, he's not. Yes, he is. Okay. Not too sure what's happening there.
Going on softs. Probably made a mistake. As you said, he got the yellow tires on. And he's now then given a few places away to get his fast tires on and try to attack it. But I don't know if that's a good call now. Would have stayed on the yellow tires then.
Well, it's dropped him right back, hasn't it? To be fair, he's going to be coming out P9. Yeah, I'm just trying to have a look at the strategies here, what the guys are going to do. Just having a quick look at the places there, actually. Dylan Platt obviously stays where he was. Callum White stays where he was, 1 and 2. Sean Street up 8 from 11 to 3. Thomas Cook up 4 from 8 to 4. Jack Wilson up 13 from 18. This has panned out pretty well for him, because earlier on in the race this was looking as if he was really not going to do too well, but now all of a sudden he's very much in the mix, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he was there.
Yeah, earlier on though it was looking like, okay, this isn't really going to pan out for him, but I mean the safety car has really worked for him, and it has helped him a great deal with those guys obviously coming in and pitting as well. He's got to be looking pretty strong, I would say, at this moment in time. He's on a fresh set of softs as well, so yeah, so that's a good run from him, certainly. So 13 places there for Jack Wilson. Phil Harris, though, down 3 from 3 to 6. Ryan Lear down 1 from 6. Jake Searle down 1 from 7. Matt Goodyear up 8 from 17. So good run, certainly, but got to question those pit stops. He's going to really be kicking himself for that pit stop going on to those yellow compound tyres. Ryan Doran is up 3 from 13. Down 1 is Tony Foster from 10. Josh Diggles down 3 from 9. Richard Williams down 1 from 12. Callum White stays where he was, and Jamie Good stays where he was in 15 as well. All the guys are there. We are on lap 48. We are with Dylan Platt, as although it's saying Jack Wilson, we are with Dylan Platt as he's coming around towards the loop now. Safety car ahead of him. Safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap. So we'll be racing as we start lap 49. That means we will have 4 laps remaining of this race in full race conditions. And as you can see, obviously a number of drivers did come in, go on to fresh compound tyres. Everybody is on the soft compound tyre, apart from Jamie Good, who's under AI at this moment in time, so he won't be competing. So this is really going to be tight. Let's actually go through this. So Jamie Good is in 14, although he's not actually in the race.
There was damage there.
Who's
Jamie
from?
Good, the AI hit somebody.
Just saw that. Yeah, I saw that. So that's Jamie Good. In 14th place is Cameron Widdowson. In 13 is Richard Williams for Toro Rosso. In 12 is Josh Diggles. Oh dear, it all went horribly wrong for him. Josh Diggles for Rocket Williams is in P12. Tony Foster for McLaren is in P11. Can he get in the points, get past P10, Ryan Doran just ahead of him in the Haas. Well, we will have to see whether he can actually do that or not. Time will tell. Matt Goodyear in the Mercedes is now down to P9. Jake Sorrell, some great racing for him tonight, but he's in P8. At least he'll be picking up some points there. P7 is Ryan Lear for Haas. P6 is Phil Harris for Ferrari. Not quite where he wanted to be, but it is what it is. Jack Wilson for Renault is in P5. P4 is Thomas Cook for Alfa Romeo. Sean Street for McLaren is in P3. P2 is Callum White for Red Bull. But leading the way is Dylan Platt as he comes round now to restart this race at the start of lap 49. He is on his way through the chicane. Coming round club now onto the start-finish straight. Callum White close in behind him. Then we've got Sean Street. Oh, Thomas Cook nearly getting past Sean Street there as they were coming into Village. Sean Street fended him off, stays in that P3, but Thomas Cook is definitely going to be pushing on that. Jack Wilson just in behind them as well. Then we've got Phil Harris looking to try and make the move into Jack Wilson. Can he do it as they're coming round Brooklands? Yes, he does. Phil Harris gets ahead of Jack Wilson. Thomas Cook still pushing on Sean Street. Sean Street just staying ahead of him. Phil Harris coming in behind. Jack Wilson now drops down into P6. P7, Ryan Lear. But a real fight going on here at the moment with Phil Harris trying to close in on the back of Thomas Cook. He really wants to get on that podium, doesn't he, Phil? He's missed out on an opportunity. He would have been there, started P3. Things didn't work out for him, but he's come back and...
he's got us inside.
He's got him inside. He can definitely do it. Thomas Cook going defensive as they come... Oh, look at that. Jack Wilson coming back there. Look at that. Jack Wilson coming back, gets ahead. Well, Phil Harris, as they're coming round, Phil Harris coming back at him now as they're coming through the chicane, takes the place back through the chicane. Fantastic return there from Phil Harris, gotta say. This is a real fight going on here at this moment because they all want to get on that podium and they can see they've got the potential to, isn't it, Guido?
Yeah. That's what a safety car does for you. This is really what you want to see.
Jack Wilson again zoning in on the back of Phil Harris. Phil Harris getting on the back of Thomas Cook. Thomas Cook trying his best to keep Phil Harris at bay, but also close down that gap to Sean Street. Sean Street at this moment in time is riding the coattails of Callum White. So this is a very, very exciting restart, especially so close to the end. We're on lap 50 of 52, 3 laps, 2.5 laps remaining of this race. And I've got to say, this podium is still very open at this moment in time, Guido.
Oh, Sean, who's that? Sean Street behind penalties. That's what I see.
Well, penalties are definitely going to come into play here. There's no two ways about it. Thomas Cook going deep out of Beckett's there into Chapel. Oh, look at this, and Phil Harris making a move at him. Phil Harris getting alongside him as they're coming down towards Stowe. This will be for P4. Phil Harris gets his nose ahead of Thomas Cook. Thomas Cook trying to come back. They're still wheel to wheel as they're coming down towards the chicane. Thomas Cook just gets his nose ahead out into turn 16. Round 17 comes back. What a fantastic move there. Phil Harris drops back down into P5, but he's going to be challenging again. I'm sure Jack Wilson's still on the back of him as well.
He is.
Wow, this is something. This is really, really tight. Sean Street only 5/10 off the back of Callum White still.
Well,
Thomas Cook 1 second off the back of Sean Street. Jake Sorrell has actually left the session, so he's disconnected. Oh dear, I hope that doesn't muck things up too much. He's currently in P14 anyway. But look at this fight going on here. Phil Harris, though, determined to try and get past Alfa Romeo, and equally Sean Street determined to try and get past Callum White and get P2 on that podium. And in the meantime, Dylan Platt starting to slowly pull away from his teammate.
Dylan Platt already got the fastest lap in the lap before this one, so he's going to get that extra point.
Sean Street trying to use the DRS to close in.
He's closing in.
Phil Harris closing in as well. But Callum White's just staying ahead of him just enough. Phil Harris losing time now to Thomas Cook. Thomas Cook closing in on the back of Sean Street. Wow, this is very, very close indeed.
Oh. This is it. They're gonna have to do it now. I think Sean Street stands a chance.
He does stand a chance, but I don't know. So we're on the final lap now, Guido. This is the final lap. Callum White coming into Brooklands. Dylan Platt just coming round Luffield now. But the fight is going to be right to the end. I'll tell you what, Guido, and it could go anyway because Callum White just picked... Cameron Widdowson, sorry, just picked up a 5-second penalty. I thought that's Callum White there for a minute. But penalty points are going to come into play here, and I think they could affect that podium, Guido.
Yeah, but the podium is not... The guys up front are not driving with that many penalties. I think only Thomas Cook is driving with multiple penalties. Oh, yellow flag. Cameron Widdowson.
Cameron Widdowson has gone out. So let's go with Dylan Platt now as he comes up to the final. Turns into the final chicane, 16, 17. Round the final corner of Club onto the start-finish straight. Dylan Platt takes the win. Oh, and Sean Street gets second.
That's it.
Sean Street gets second. What a fantastic run for him. And Callum White gets third. But what a great result for Sean Street, picking up second place. And what a fantastic run he had as well. 9 places. Started in P11. Well, that is absolutely fantastic job there from Sean Street. So Dylan Platt takes the win here at Silverstone for Season 2, Round 10 of F1 Tonight UK. Second place goes to Sean Street of McLaren. And third place goes to Dylan Platt, to Callum White, sorry, of Red Bull. So Red Bull 1-3, Sean Street coming through again, and Phil Harris, I think, actually finished in P5. So that's really going to help Sean Street with regards to the Drivers' Championship. Let's have a quick look at that. Dylan Platt, first place. Second goes to Sean Street. Third goes to Callum White. Fourth goes to Thomas Cook. Fifth goes to Phil Harris. 6, Ryan Lear. 7, Jack Wilson. 8, Ryan Doran. 9, Tony Foster. 10, Josh Diggle. So Tony Foster did get in the points there. Fantastic. Josh Diggle also got the points. Out of points in P11, Richard Williams, Matt Goodyear 12, 13, Jake Sorrell, 14, Cameron Widdowson, and 15, Jamie Good. DNFs were Ross Milburn, Zach Dejean, Lee Pratt, Adrian Rich. Guido, looking through this, I've got to say, a fantastic result there.
Fantastic.
But Sean Street, I think, it's got to be driver of the day from 11 to 3rd, and a solid drive. Stayed in the background there. We didn't really sort of stick out majorly, but what a fantastic drive. And that was on the penalties. 1 penalty. Callum White had 2 penalties. That's what made the decision.
Yeah, it is. I think it's well deserved. The driver of the day, Sean Street. Great run from him and great comeback.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Well, that's us done for today. But this Thursday, don't forget, F1 Tonight Netherlands. They will be racing their round 10 of Season 7. Wow, that is something, isn't it, Guido? And you're going to be in that. I'll take it you're going to be looking forward to that.
If it doesn't rain, yeah. I'll be looking forward to that.
So that's this Thursday, 7:30 UK time, 8:30 Central European time. Next Tuesday, we will be back in a different place. We will be here for the German Grand Prix. So that's next Tuesday, 7:30 UK time, 8:30 Central European time. That's F1 Tonight UK for the German Grand Prix. This Thursday, F1 Tonight Netherlands for the British Grand Prix, 7:30 UK time, 8:30 Central European time. That just leaves us to say good night. We hope you've enjoyed it. We certainly have. It's a great race. So from me, it's good night, everyone.
And from me, it's a good night, and thanks, everybody.
Good night. Take care. Stay home. Stay safe. Good night, all.